welcome into Scott, Louisiana, live from Bill Dotson Stadium. It is time for playoff football as Carencro set to take on their arch rival Acadiana High in the first round of the 2025 playoffs. I'm going to bring on my broadcast partner here, Coach Christopher Kovac. It feels like we were just here, Coach.
I think we were. I think we were.
It was a game last week that could have went either way. Carencro really did all it could do to win that football game. They led the game in total yards, had more first downs, almost 7 more minutes of time of possession, Coach, 6 and change. The one thing, though, that they couldn't do was let the defensive front from Acadiana dominate. They let Acadiana have 5 sacks, total for about 30 yards, and that was really the story of the ball game. Outside of that, Carencro was able to kind of control the clock to a certain extent. They only had 1 3-and-out. A week ago against Southside, the week prior, they went 6 out of 8 drives with 3-and-out. So I think this is a team last week that kind of found themselves back offensively. Although you might have not saw it on the scoreboard, on the stat sheet, it definitely dominated. Tonight, they got to figure out a way to turn those yards into points and also just make big plays in the big-time moments.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes down to the numbers, let's throw the numbers out there. When it came to first downs, Acadiana had 14. Carencro had 18. They led in that category. In rushing yards, now Acadiana pulled ahead 233. Carencro had 119. But passing yards, Acadiana had 53. Carencro had 244. But it comes down to what do you do with it? It's great. Let's talk basketball. It's great to get to the rim, right? But if you don't score the bucket, if you don't make the layup, it's great to have an open 3. But if you don't make it, it's kind of worthless, right?
And you talk about all that yardage. They got the football deep in Acadiana territory multiple times, and they had got just the timely sacks, right? The sacks that they gave up were just inopportunistic, and they gave Acadiana momentum, took Carencro out of scoring position, and that was kind of all she wrote. And look, really credit. I don't want to toot his horn too much, but Colin DeBetta just made the most terrific touchdown catch with 35 seconds left in the ball game for them to win. Of course, if you're just joining us, this is the Hub City Ford Carencro pregame show as we're gearing up for the big playoff matchup, Carencro versus Acadiana. Coach, this is the 3rd time in 4 years that Acadiana and Carencro are going to play 2 times in one season. They split the other 2 games, right? One game was a second-round win for Carencro. One game was a second-round win for Acadiana. The bad thing, though, is Acadiana 8 out of the last 10. There's been a little bit of a momentum change in the rivalry, and Acadiana has dominated that. You've coached in situations like that against teams. How do you get your team to believe they can win, especially when you dropped a close one, and, that was the 8 out of the last 10 that you dropped to the team?
I think I literally thought about this. I said, if I'm Gavin Peters, what is the speech that I am giving to this group of guys before this game? What have I talked about all throughout the week, in fact? And I'm going way back in history if I'm Gavin Peters. I'm going back. These are 2 schools that essentially were opened around the same time. I don't know exactly what year that Acadiana was open in. Carencro at its new campus, the current campus, was 1970, 1971. And Carencro was not a football school, right? It was a band
Took
school.
a little while to get to that point.
Yeah, it was a band school back then. Pat Key comes around. There are a couple other guys that came through there in the coaching staff and began to turn things around in the late 80s. And then the Mac Barus era began, and Carencro dominated Acadiana. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but through the 90s, Carencro dominated Acadiana, and all the stats prove it, right? And then there are changes in leadership. There are changes in a bunch of stuff, and Acadiana essentially, under Ted Davidson, takes the Carencro blueprint and becomes the dominant team in Lafayette Parish. And then they essentially had control. They own the series the way that Carencro owned the series. And then Carencro has tried its darndest over the last couple of years to even it out, but Acadiana has still held the upper hand.
They're going to try their best tonight to turn the tide. We're going to take our first break of the Carencro pregame show brought to you by Hub City Ford. When we come back, we're going to talk about the injury updates and what Carencro has to do to come out victorious tonight. Right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. continue to inch closer to playoff action as Carencro is set to take on the Acadiana High Wreaking Rams. We're going to take a quick look at the Ochsner Lafayette General Sports Medicine injury update. And, Coach, finally, we have some great news. Kylan Taylor, the sophomore running back, held out a week ago with turf toe, fully dressed out tonight, a full go. He looks to be back in his shape, in form, and he's going to pay dividends as a kid that could not only – this was Coach Joey DeWire told me, offensive coordinator. He said, look, what he does differently than the other guys, he could turn the 2-yard gain into a 4-yard gain. And that's all you need is a gain of a couple yards to control the clock. You've seen that turf toe, Coach, and it's kind of it's a tough injury to bounce back from. How big of an impact can we expect Kylan Taylor to have tonight?
You know, first of all, let's address the injury. You know, turf toe is one of the most brutal things for those of you guys at home who don't know. Turf toe is merely a sprain of the ligaments within the big toe, and you don't realize how much you use that big toe until turf toe happens to you, or you break a toe.
It's kind of like your ribs, right?
Oh my gosh, I got to tell you, it is absolutely brutal. The irony of it all is Kylan Taylor's uncle, Lucas Taylor, in 2003, when the Carencro Bears were ranked number 1 throughout the state the entire year and ended up getting upset in the semifinal round at Hanville. Lucas suffered from turf toe the entire year. I have no idea how he made it through. I know Dr. Brian Granger, Carencro High team doctor for a long time.
Special medicine.
He had an impact with that, you know, a little help from Doc. But I mean, it is absolutely brutal. But to have Taylor back into tonight, he's exactly what you said, what Joey Dwyer said. It might be a 2-yard gain, but Taylor is so brutal of a runner, so physical with a great blend of speed that he can turn that 2 into 4. And if the Carencro offense, if they go to the running game, you know, we pointed out Carencro was behind in the rush game, but they were ahead in the pass game. But if they can go ahead in the rush game tonight, especially if we see another repeat performance of a tight game, what a difference Taylor might make.
Before we take our last break of this Hub City Forward pregame show, I'm going to tell you one thing. Another thing they got to do is they got to get 6 and 7 involved in the game early and often. I look for 7 to have an impact in multiple aspects of the ball game tonight, not just receiving on the offensive side. We're going to take our last break.
I thought you were going to make a joke.
6'7", 6'7". I don't know.
Thank God you did.
I'm a little old. I don't know if I could do that.
I'm glad.
We're going to step aside for the last time in the Hub City Ford Carencro pregame show. When we come back, it'll be time for the Chief Anderson first quarter and playoff action right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Go away. It's time for playoff football. Live from Dusson, Louisiana, as we're at Bill Dotson Stadium. Your Carencro Golden Bears have won the toss, and for the second straight week, they will elect to receive the football. We're going to play football left to right as you watch it on your radio dial, and your Carencro Golden Bears, the blue lids, white on white, and of course Acadiana, those green tops, gold bottoms, and the Notre Dame helmets. Football is teed off at the 40-yard line as they'll retreat back to normal kickoff depth. Josh Marquez will give the marching orders to the kickoff unit. Back deep to return for the Bears is going to be number 2, Brandon Duffy, hovering back at the 10-yard line. Going to give a point to the left and a point to the right. Lead up to the football, and playoff time has started. Football's going to bounce at the 20, again at the 10, and that's where Duffy's going to get it. Duffy's bringing it back towards the middle of the field. Now he's trying to get all the way back out towards the outside of the numbers. They're going to wrestle him down all the way back at the 7-yard line as he went in reverse some 10 yards. Not optimal starting field position for the Carencro Golden Bears.
You know, it kind of comes back to something that we said in week 1. You know, the beauty of having Brandon Duffy in the backfield is that he might break a 95, 100-yard, 90-yard. You know, you call the yardage. He might break it all the time. But sometimes some of the decision-making isn't always in the favor.
You take the good with the bad. You take the good with the bad.
And you kind of have to. If you're Gavin Peters and Carencro, he is one of the most explosive, dynamic athletes that they have.
First and 10 Bears from their own 7-yard line. Carson Gursey back in the shotgun, all by his lonesome. He's going to bring a man in motion. It's going to be Duffy. It's going to be a handoff to Duffy. Flicks it back to Seabab. Seabab looking to throw the football. He's just going to throw it away into the boundary, and it might have been intercepted. I think it was. Travis Gallion ran the football down, and it looks like he picked it off at the 27-yard line. It was a reverse pass, and Babineau was just trying to get the football away and throw it to the sideline. Just didn't get enough depth to it, and on the opening play of the game, Travis Gallion makes the interception.
You know, one of the things about trickeration is it's always great to run a trick play early in the game to really set your opponent on the heels. Right there, after Duffy brought the ball from the 15 all the way back to the negative 5-yard line, it might not have been the best of choices at the time, but it was a great decision if they had great field position, but just wasn't.
The bet is going to go under center in the split back from the 27 of the Bears. It's going to be a handoff straight up the gut to Kennerson. Kennerson's going to get 4 yards on the play and bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you're the offensive coaching staff right there, I mean, it's kind of what you wanted to do early. You wanted to set the tone.
That's the third game so far this year that they've ran the reverse pass as the opening play.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's Lance Guidry. You say it all the time. You know, Lance is a defensive analyst at LSU right now, former defense coordinator at Miami. Said, man, run that thing, run it early. Right there, just didn't work in the Bears.
2nd and 6 from the 23. Hand the football off to Kennerson, trying the middle of the field again. Going to be stopped shy just to the 20-yard line. Wilson Landry in on the tackle. Is going to bring up 3rd and a long 3 for the Rams.
Tell you, I'm in disappointment mode right now. I'm in disappointment mode. I mean, you know, and Babineau tried to throw the ball out of bounds. We've seen Carson Gursey do an unbelievable job as a sophomore all year long when he had pressure, when he had heat. There's a reason why he had so many passing yards, so many touchdowns with so few interceptions. Babineau, back in that old familiar role of sophomore year, couldn't get it there.
Quick, 3rd and 3. It's going to be a keep by DeBetta. He's hunting for that first down, and it looks like he's going to have it by just a yard. He kept it along the right-hand side. He needed 3. It looks like he got 4.
Kind of that ugly quarterback counter. You know, if it, bring Carencro Bears fans back in time, Kevin Falk and Damian James and Lucas Taylor, those guys made a living off a really similar play right there.
That was kind of weird, though. He didn't let the ball get back in front of him. He got to the perimeter before.
Yeah, it was ugly. It wasn't pretty, but it got the first down.
1st and 10 for the Rams from the Bears 17. The bet has been under center all night tonight. LaMartina's out wide to the right side of the field. It's going to be a handoff towards the left side. Not a lot of running room, though. Kennerson stacked up, maybe a yard gain on the play. Couple Bears in on the stop, led by number 73, Kelvin Hilaire.
Yeah, good job by Carencro up front in all 4 of the offensive plays thus far while the ball's been run up the ground. Something we talked about last week, the fact that this Acadiana defense is not like the Southside. Acadiana offense is not like the Southside offense. This isn't a true triple option. Southside was a true triple option. This one is a little bit easier to read.
More simplistic.
It's way more. And Acadiana has tells. They have giveaways when they're running certain things. And Carencro's been good about stopping the run up front for the most part.
9:20 left to play in the first quarter. 2nd and 9 Rams. They're going to fake the handoff. No, they're going to give it to him. I believe that was Gallion trying the right-hand side of the line of scrimmage. Just didn't get anywhere. Hayden Monroe and company lead the way for the tackle. It'll be no gain on the play. Call it 3rd and 9.
Yeah, a little bit of a different look right there for Acadiana, seeing Gallion come against the actual flow of the play, kind of a counter look right there on a sweep as it came from a wing position right there. If there's one thing I think we might see different from Acadiana, I think we might see the ball go through the air a little bit more, even though we haven't seen it yet.
This could be a great opportunity. Under center, they're going to run the option towards this near sideline, trying to get to the corner, and he will. He's going to be chased out of bounds finally by Will Laverne, but he had plenty of running room. It looked like there was a hold maybe on this side of the field, and I do see a flag back at the 15-yard line. So that first down will come off the board, and they'll look like they'll be going in reverse.
Yeah, it looked like that was a little bit of a stretch option play right there from Acadiana. They did a great job of elongating the field, the better really getting to the edge, but there was a reason that he became so open right there, right?
I also think Carencro did a bad job trying to attack the football there instead of playing their play responsibilities, trying to force them back inside.
Yeah.
It looked like Cartier Baptiste had an opportunity. A couple other guys ran straight at the quarterback. 3rd and long now for the Rams. They're going to be at the football at the 25-yard line of the Bears. It's going to be La Martina at quarterback for the first time tonight. The Betta's going to be the slot receiver. Looking to throw the football. He has plenty of time. Now he's going to be rushed. Throws it up deep, and it's going to be incomplete. They were looking for the Betta. In on coverage was Brandon Duffy. Nice coverage, and this is going to bring up 4th down for the Rams, and they have a decision to make early in the ballgame.
You know, interesting by the Carencro coaching staff to put in Brandon Duffy. We haven't seen him in the Carencro secondary in quite a while. Again, Duffy, quite the athlete, amazing physical ability, right there in the right place at the right time. Would love to see Carencro come up with a big interception on one of those.
They're going to bring Marquez out to try the 42-yard attempt. Snap is down. The kick is up. He has plenty of distance, and it is good. Acadiana takes advantage of the early Carencro turnover, but they're able to hold him to 3. It's 3-0 Rams with 8:26 left to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. When we come back, we'll see if Carencro's offense can answer. Right here on your home for Carencro High Football. Mustang 107.1. Damage after the early turnover. Babineau's trickery resulted in the interception, but Carencro's defense holds strong, able to force a long 42-yard field goal. The Rams were able to capitalize and take the lead. Not 8:26 left to play in the first quarter. Marquez has the football teed off at the 40-yard line. Duffy's waiting back in between the 15 and the 10. Football's going to bounce at the 15. He's going to catch it on the short hop at the 8. Duffy trying to bring the football towards the middle of the field. Slips one tackle. Nice try to get to the outside. Duffy's going to go across the 30, now across the 35. He'll be drugged down behind at the 37, and that's where Carencro is going to set up shop on their second drive. Much, much better field position by, 30 yards?
Yeah, you know, and it's exactly what you said. When you have Duffy back there on kickoff return, it's the flip of a coin. It's sometimes going to be heads, sometimes going to be tails. Heads, you advance the ball way further than you normally would. Tails, you end up going negative. It is truly a coin flip.
We alluded to this. For the moment right now, it looks like Babineau is going to be back in at quarterback. Quad receivers to this near side, including Carson Gursey, the second receiver from the line. Babineau sets the line of scrimmage, gets the snap. Looking to throw the football down the field. Now he's going to turn into a runner. Finds a running lane now. He's going to try to get across the 40. Stiff arms another would-be tackler and gets across the 45. Flag comes in late, and I believe that will be a block in the back by Kaiden Davis. Looked like that block happened at the 44 of the Bears. We'll have to see what the call is. It's going to gate the big first down run by Seabab after the penalty.
Yeah, absolutely boneheaded play right there by Davis. It had nothing to do nothing to do at all with the play. It's going to be a personal foul, illegal blindside block. So you create all that momentum with a play that Acadiana had never seen before, with Babineau in the backfield, Guernsey out, and one decision.
SIW, coach. Self-inflicted wound.
And you go back to last week. That's why Carencro lost the game. It was self-inflicted wounds.
Football spotted at the 29. Guernsey back in the gun by himself. This time he's looking to throw the football. You'll find KB. KB gets it across the 35, down to the 38-yard line. It's a nice pickup to make it second and much more manageable, as it'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, the good thing is it's only second down, but what a momentum shift, though. Like, I mean, you had so much going on with Babineau's run, his scramble out of there. And
you
hard
made him
to tell,
pause, right? You made him think, like, oh, what, you could see this.
Yeah, I mean, and he looked like he was going to pass it, and then he scrambled. I mean, that's part of it.
Back in the gun, all by himself again. This time he's flushed out of the pocket. He wants to run. He's going to try the middle of the field. He's going to dart up towards the 45, and that's where they'll say he's tackled. He's going to set him up with a 3rd and 3 play upcoming. 3rd and 2, we'll call it. That was a great decision by Carson Guernsey to tuck it and run.
I think Guernsey's ability to run the ball tonight is going to be really, really big. And anytime that they drop back and the Carencro receivers aren't open, Guernsey's got to tuck it and go without hesitation.
3rd and 2. Carencro back in the shotgun. Guernsey waits the snap. Back to his left. He's going to hand the football off. It's going to be Bayham. Bayham tries the right-hand side of the line of scrimmage, and he looks like he'll gain a yard on the play and come out about a yard short. It's going to bring up 4th and 1 from the 46-yard line with 6:40 left to play in the first quarter, and now Carencro has a big decision to make.
Yeah, the first down marker will definitely move. The yard marker will definitely move a little bit, but not nearly what this Carencro team needs. But no hesitation from the Carencro staff.
They did not blink. Offense back under center. Guernsey in a split back veer. 2 backs behind them. Hand the football off to Jackson straight ahead. I think Jackson's forward momentum might have got there, but it doesn't look like the spot's going to give it to him. They're going to spot this football back at the 46, and it's going to be a turnover on downs as Acadiana is going to take over the football.
Ideally, not what Carencro wants in this situation. And the scary thing of it all is if Guernsey pulls that ball, it's a first down and more all the way.
I think it's interesting, though, that they didn't try to go to Taylor there. They went with no slight to T.J. Jackson, but that just seemed like a play that was tailor-made for Taylor.
Yeah, I see what you did there with the Taylor thing.
I had a good English teacher one time.
But, I mean, man,
it's
oh, man.
Andrews, you know?
Oh,
First
yeah,
and 10, Acadiana from the
her,
46. The better, under center, runs the option to the far side. He's going to bounce off of the ball carrier's hands. They're able to collect themselves on the other side of the 50. He'll be dropped at the 48. That'll be a big loss on the play, as Acadiana's going to now have it 2nd and 17 back at the 48.
You know, and that is one of the biggest things that Acadiana has struggled with over the years, that just putting the ball on the ground. I mean, it is one of the things they've struggled with.
Last week they put the football on the field 3 times, and Carencro couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, in the Ted Davidson years, you saw him put it on the ground early, but clean that up by the end of the year.
It's going to be a snap, and it's going to be a cross-buck handoff. I believe that was Kennison that got it. He had a little bit of traction, gets it back into Carencro territory. He'll be stacked up at the 47-yard line and bring up a 3rd and 11.
So, you know, going back to what we're talking about, you know, in this particular offense and the way that Acadiana runs it, putting the ball on the ground was something that was usually seen in weeks 1, 2, and 3. But then by the time they got to 4 through 10, they really did a much better job of ball security. Their offense was way more sound, but they're putting the ball on the floor way more often than they used to.
The better, back under center. He's going to fake the handoff and rotate the pocket out towards his left. Looking to throw it deep. Now he's going to keep it. He's going to be tackled from behind, though. Hayden Monroe stops him just shy of the 40-yard line at the 41. It's going to bring up a 4th down, but I believe this is in the territory that Acadiana is probably going to go for it. We'll call it a 4th and a 5.
Great pursuit there by Monroe. Monroe, again, a young guy that we've talked about a lot. He played significantly as a freshman. He's got the build, he's got the frame, tends to dance a little too much, tried to avoid contact, but right there, got to give it to him, boy. He had his nose set in for the ball.
Kind of surprised that Acadiana's going to elect to punt the football right here with 4:10 left to play in the first. It's going to be a good punt. Be caught by C-Bab inside the 10. Bab makes one man miss, makes another miss. Tries to bring it across the 15, but he won't get past it. Carencro set up shop for their third drive at the 15-yard line with just shy of 4 minutes left to play in the Chief Anderson first.
You know, we're not there at practice every day and every week, and we don't know what goes on and who's supposed to be where all the time. And we talk to the coaching staff, but there's definitely some secrets that are withheld, you know. Is Duffy normally the guy you want back on punt return? Did they go with
a lot of reps, man?
Yeah, did they go with Babineau right there because of the time and situation where they were? Babineau's the much smarter choice. You can trust him with his decision making. Nonetheless, Babineau picks up a few yards. 1st and 10, Golden Bears, 16-yard line.
Guernsey back in the gun, all by himself. Quad receivers to the far side. Guernsey looking to throw it quick, and he will. It's going to be underneath and caught by Duffy. I believe he's going to give him credit to the 19-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3 on the play and bring up 2nd and 7. I'm okay with that, though. I'm okay with getting the football out of his hands quickly. You saw he had a plan where he wanted to go with it, trying to neutralize this pass rush that got home 5 times a week ago.
Yeah, the quick release is undoubtedly good. I mean, that's a pickup of 4 yards right there, right? That is just as good as any running play you can ever do.
Guernsey's going to be in the gun again by himself. They like this lonesome formation so far tonight. Looking to throw the football down the field. Now he's going to run.
There it is.
He has a little bit of room trying to get to that far sideline, and he will. And for the first time tonight, we got a Papa Bear first down.
And you know, that's what we talked about on the last series, that any time that these Carencro receivers are going to be covered, if they're open, Guernsey's going to find them, right? He's going to put the ball. He's done an amazing job. Nearly hit 3,000 yards passing this year as a sophomore in just the first 10 regular season games. But tonight, when those guys are covered and there's a lane, Guernsey's got to go, and he's got to go quick.
Guernsey back in the shotgun again. Empty set. Trip receivers to this near side. Duffy by himself on the long side. Bring KB into motion. Fake the handoff to him. Now Guernsey again. Going to come into it, look to be a runner. Makes one man miss. Darts across the 30. They'll give him credit to the 31. That's another 4-yard gain to set up 2nd and 6.
May seem like a whole lot of work to get 4, but at the end of the day, Carencro retains the ball. They get 4 yards. It brings up 2nd and 6. That's a very manageable down, and especially considering all the weapons that Carencro has, I mean, you can't ask for much more, right?
2:44 left to play in the first. Guernsey back in the gun. This time he's going to have Taylor to his left. Trip bunch receivers to the far side. Guernsey sets the line of scrimmage. Looking to throw the football. Now he's going to sprint out to his left. He's going to throw it deep, trying to find Babineau one-on-one coverage. Has to be caught by Babineau. Babineau breaks away from the defender. He's across the 10. Cue the horns. It's a big boy fencing touchdown as Carencro takes the lead. It's now 6-3 with 2:22 left to play in the first quarter.
That, my friends, was just an example of Chance Babineau being Chance Babineau. I mean, there was no way that ball shouldn't have been knocked down, intercepted, you name it. But sometimes Bab is just Bab, guys.
What a play by the senior playmaker, who's now the all-time leading touchdown maker in a single season.
I mean, I just unbelievable what this young man has done.
That
over
football
the
was
course
almost
of
like
4
a
years.
back shoulder throw. Gallion was in on coverage. I don't know how he caught it. What a play.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gallion was beat, essentially.
Latham's kick is up, and the Melanson Funeral Home PAT is good. It's now 7-3 with 2:22 left to play in the first. We're going to step aside. Can Carencro's defense keep coming up big? Right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Golden Bears came back and answered on a big way. The big touchdown strike from 6-7 gives Carencro the lead in the first quarter. Carson Gursey to Chance Babineau.
But you did it again, though. You 6-7'd again.
We're
not kids, Blaine. I mean,
what am I supposed to? Is that number 6 and number 7?
Number 6 to number 7.
Okay,
I don't
do
know.
that. We could do that.
You know the problem.
I didn't do it with the cadence,
like,
though, right?
I'm at school.
You're doing it with the
I've
cadence.
Hear it all
You're
the
saying
time.
the cadence. I'm not doing the cadence.
You're right.
You know?
You're right.
Cbab, though, made it happen. Latham's going to kick it, and it's going to be a kick with a little depth, little height to it, too. It's going to be caught by DeBetta at the 21. He's going to be trying to bring it to the far sideline. He makes Will Laverne miss, and he gets it out to the numbers. He has a wall of blockers out in front of him, and he'll finally be pushed out of bounds at the 49-yard line by Caden Robinson.
You know, the number that really matters at this point is 7-3.
7-3,
right?
yeah. 7-3 is more important.
I guess that's the number that really matters. And, you know, it's kind of what we expected. We knew this was going to be a heavyweight fight. We knew there was going to be slugging. I think the one thing that changed the game, though, is the trick play on Carencro's first possession. And then
but you would stand that, right? Now you could say you held tough to it.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Acadiana from the 47 of the Rams. The Betta's going to go under center with 2 backs behind him. Has 2 receivers to this near side. Going to throw the football out. Excuse me, that was LaMartina. Try to whip it out to the Betta. He goes in and out of the playmaker's hands. It'll be an incomplete pass and bring up 2nd and 10. I didn't even realize they slugged LaMartina in at quarterback. That's the play that I was most worried about, getting the football to the Betta in space.
Yeah, so really interesting, too, though. You know, when we've seen LaMartina come in at quarterback, it's been pass each time. I mean, LaMartina, he's had some good completions, but he's not a passer. He's no Carson Gursey.
But Carencro also right there, they got a little bit out extended. I would like to see him kind of shade over in this situation. LaMartina's going to stay in at quarterback, but he'll hand it off this time. He'll get it over to Gallion. Gallion gets it just to midfield. It'll be a gain of 3 on the play and bring up 3rd and 7.
Look like number 14, Carde Batiste, in on the tackle right there. Real sound physical tackle right there. I mean, gain of a couple, but I mean that's what the Bears have to keep doing.
You really got to tip your hat too to Carde Batiste. He began the football season as one of the primary ball carriers. They kind of moved him around and shuffled him, found himself on the defensive side of the field, got injured, came back, and still contributing. He's just a likable kid too, Coach. I'm a huge Carde Batiste
fan. He's a good
fan.
kid, big smile. I hope he has a big smile tonight.
LaMartina in at quarterback. There'll be a timeout the Acadiana Rams will take before the play can get started. We're going to take it with him when we come back. It'll be 3rd and 7 from midfield with 1:29 left to play in the first, right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Golden Bears lead the Acadiana Rams 7-3 with 1:29 left to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. 3rd and 7 for the Rams from the 50-yard line. It's been LaMartina in at quarterback this entire drive, and that's exactly what they're going to stick with as the Betta comes out as the receiver to this near side. Gallion, the receiver to the far side, 2 backs behind LaMartina. They're going to look to throw the football, and they're trying to get it to DeBetta, but he's going to tuck it and run. He's hunting for the first down, and he's going to get it. He got the football down to the 41 or almost the 40, and that will be enough for a first down for the Rams.
Just a really good run by LaMartina right there. Great job by the Carencro secondary. A decent job up front by the Carencro front guys, but not able to hold the edge. And LaMartina puts his head down and really just fought for an extra 2 yards.
Brandon Duffy did a great job on the double move. Handoff to the right-hand side of the line of scrimmage. It'll be stacked up just past the line. They'll call it a gain of 2 on the inside veer give. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 at the 38 with under a minute left to play in the game. They try to hit you know, it looked like a sluggo, a little slant and go to DeBetta, but Duffy just got inside of him, and he wasn't relentless on the coverage.
Yeah, it looks like most of the time they've had Duffy matched up on either Gallion or DeBetta each time, and I mean, Duffy's the type of athlete. I mean, he's just going to be in lockdown. He's going to play straight press coverage once again.
LaMartina hands the football off. This time it'll be the right-hand side again. He'll surge past the 35 down to the 34 and bring up a 3rd and 3 for Acadiana. And I believe that's going to be the last play of the Chief Anderson for the first quarter. We played one in Doosan, Louisiana, and your Golden Bears lead the Acadiana High Wreaking Rams 7-3. When we come back, it'll be time for the Pat's Printing second quarter on your home for Carencro High football, Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Bears take a 7-3 lead into this second quarter thanks to the Carson Guernsey to CBAB connection. See, I didn't do the 6-7 thing. 3rd and 4, Acadiana.
I feel what you did right there.
From the 34-yard line. Under center,
Whoa.
LaMartina hands the football off, and he's going to surge past the 30. It looked like one of those rolling starts, though, Coach. And
there's no flag?
I don't know how you could.
They're like the left. Wow, man.
First down to Acadiana at the 28.
The left back in the split back formation was all the way to
at the line
quarterback
of
when the ball was snapped. I have no idea why that was not a penalty. That was bad. That was bad. We don't know where our officiating crew is out of tonight. Playoff games, the LHSA assigns.
LaMartina hands the football off, trying the right-hand side. Gallion attempts to spin out of a tackle, but it'll be dropped just across the 25. I'll give him credit to the 23. In on the tackle, Will Laverne, Hayden Monroe and company.
I mean, if Carencro can just withstand that charge throughout the night, you know. And an interesting thing that Gallion is seeing snaps in the backfield
we didn't see that last week at all.
No. And you know, Gallion's a good athlete, but he's not a power runner. He's got a good frame. He has adequate speed, I would say, but he's just not a power runner. He's a little bit quicker than a lot of guys, but, I mean, it's kind of a good thing for Carencro.
2nd and 5. Hand the football off. It'll be Kennerson this time, trying the left-hand side. He'll gain maybe a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 for Acadiana. They'll give him credit for 2.
You know, when you go back to rushing in Week 10, you know, number 8, Dion Simon, had 115 yards rushing. Troy Kennerson had 68 yards rushing. DeBetta had 42 yards rushing. LaMartina had 10.
Seemed like Kennerson's been the bell cow so far tonight.
Yeah, he's kind of been that workhorse. And you would tend to think that it would be between Seymour and Kennerson, but a different look here from the Rams.
Under center, LaMartina hands the football off. No, he pitches it out on the option. It's going to be Seymour trying the right-hand side. He gets it inside the 10. It'll be pushed out at the 11-yard line, at the 6-yard line. That'll be a 1st and goal for Acadiana with 10-11 left to play in the Pat's Printing first quarter.
You know, and if that ain't just typical, essentially, I want to say triple option, but it's not real triple option right there, but Acadiana's version of the veer right there. I mean, a lot of times it's an automatic give or an automatic pitch, and they've give, and that time they pitched, and it was there.
1st and goal from the 6. LaMartina has been the quarterback almost since about midway of the first quarter. Goes under center. Hands the football off. I believe that was Kennerson. He's going to get it down to the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 3.
Hard to stop that push up front from Acadiana when they get into the red zone, and especially after they just pitched it on the option. You know, one tends to expand their thoughts a little bit as the option expands. You know, you really got to buckle down and plug it up the middle.
They're going to go at a snail's pace, though, not really trying to play quickly. 2nd and goal. They're going to try to go over the top with Kennerson, waiting on a call. They're going to call him down at the 1-yard line. He tried to go over the top of the line, just couldn't get into the end zone. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 1 with 9:20 left to play.
You know, if you're a Carencro fan, if you're a Carencro coach, if you're a Carencro player, you're so happy if you can walk out of this with 3. But I don't think there's any way that Acadiana is going to kick this ball at any point.
Under center, he's going to keep it himself. He'll go over the right side, and it's going to be a touchdown for Acadiana as they go on top now, leading 9-7 with 9:03 left to play in the Pat Sprinting second quarter. It was kind of just a steady dose that time, Coach. Option look, left, right, outside, inside, a little bit of it all as Acadiana was able to claw back.
Yeah, you know, we're in Bill Dotson Stadium, and that offense at its roots goes back to the Bill Dotson days. You know, it was funny. I didn't know Bill Dotson. I didn't know Acadiana growing up in New Orleans, late 80s, early 90s.
Kick is up, and it is off the left, upright, no good. The score remained 9-7 with 9:03 left to play in the second. We're going to step aside when we come back. It'll be Carencro's turn to answer right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Acadiana was able to answer after a great kickoff return by Colin DeBetta. They went to the veer machine to take the lead 9-7 with 9:03 left to play in the second. Football teed up, and it's going to be a sky kick towards the numbers on this left side, caught by Brennan Cormier. Cormier's going to try to get it back towards the middle of the field, but it'll be tackled just shy of the 30 at the 29, and that's where Carencro's going to come out to start this drive.
Yeah, now I think if you're Carencro, you're more than happy with that right there. That's good field position. Nothing bad happened. Nothing sketchy happened right there. And Cormier, safe hands, safe brain.
He's been pretty good on special teams this year.
He's been amazing. He is the onside recovery specialist, right?
A demon on those onside recoveries.
Yeah, so that puts the Golden Bears in a good spot at the 29-yard line, in a position where they can maybe, if they could control the clock throughout this second quarter and get it down in the end zone.
Babineau's going to come out at quarterback this time with Gursey in as the slot receiver. Babineau sets the line. Now he's going to look to throw the football down the field. He has plenty of time. He'll let it fly. It'll be caught by Carson Gursey just across the middle. They'll drop him down at the 42-yard line. That'll be a great start to this drive, as that's an 8-yard pickup.
I think one of the greatest things about that's obviously the wrinkle that not a lot of Golden Bear fans or not a lot of Wrecking Ram fans knew, that they'd put Babineau in the backfield and split Gursey out and then throwing to him. You know, we've seen teams in the past that have done stuff like that, but they'll never throw to the quarterback. Throwing it to Gursey is a safe bet. That's a tough dude.
That is, man. He's built like a tank, too. 2nd and 8. Football at the 38 of the Bears. Babineau's going to stay in at quarterback. Gursey had to leave the game momentarily after his helmet came off. Quickly, though, Babineau's going to take a timeout. We're going to take a tire boss timeout with him. When we come back, it'll be 2nd and 2 for the Bears right here on your home for Carencro High Football, Mustang 107.1. gets the snap. He's going to hand the football off to Taylor. Taylor didn't have much running room right there. He'll be dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a half a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long one, closer to 2.
Yeah, I mean, you almost kind of expected that play when Carencro marched on the field with that group of guys.
They got to kind of show that too, though. You think with Babineau at quarterback, you got to.
Yeah, there's a certain, like sometimes great offensive coordinators run one play inside 3 times in a row and get stuffed almost every time just to bust one to the outside. Kind of like we saw with the Acadiana in that last scoring drive.
Guernsey back in at quarterback now. Taylor to his right, sets the line of scrimmage. He's going to give it to Taylor again. This time Taylor makes a man miss. He's going to pick up the Papa Bear first down to the 43-yard line as Carencro's going to move the sticks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Taylor busts through that line really quick that time. Amazing just how personnel in the game and where they are changes what the defense does. That time, Guernsey up there with Taylor changed things big time. Acadiana had a little bit less people in the box. Taylor breaks through and then stuffed after he picked up a yard or 2 right there.
Guernsey back in the gun at the 44-yard line. 7:05 left to play in the second. Sprints out to his right, looking to throw the football. He has Duffy underneath. Duffy momentarily spins out of a tackle, but he'll be dropped at the 48. It'll still be a good pickup, though, on first down to constantly kind of
that's
keep
those
yards turning.
Those are all good plays, right? I mean, that's 3-4 yards every time. The pocket is moving as Guernsey is moving, and that keeps the Acadiana defense off balance. I mean, I think that's about as much as you can ask for if you're a Carencro fan. Everybody's a coach in the stands, right? I mean, you can't ask for much more from the Carencro coaching staff right there.
2nd and 6 from the 48 of the Bears. Guernsey in the empty set in the backfield. Gets the snap. Now he's going to look to throw it underneath tunnel screen. It's going to be caught by Babb. Babb looks to the middle of the field, makes another man miss. He's deep in the Ram territory now, makes another man miss. He's out of a tackle at the 30. He's at the 25. Still on his feet at the 20. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. That's a Papa Bear pitch and catch. Papa Bear first down pitch and catch.
I think I said it before, and I'll say it again. That's just Chance Babineau being Chance Babineau. I would love our guy Benjamin Destel's ready to cue it up again. I don't know if we'll have time because they're moving quick, but there you see it right there.
Look at him just
Babb
run out
making
of the
plays,
tackle,
man.
one after another, able to get the football deep into the Rams territory. 1st and 10, Carencro. They call him out at the 23. Guernsey back in the gun, all by himself again. Gets the snap. Immediate pressure, steps up in the pocket, though. Now he's going to look to be a runner, trying to get to that far sideline. He gets across the 20 before he's pushed out of bounds. It'll be about a 4-yard gain on the play to bring up 2nd and 6.
Another prime example right there. You had success in the throwing game 2 times in a row. 2 different looks entirely. Then more of a drop-back look from Guernsey right there. Guernsey reading. Receivers were immediately locked up. Puts it on the ground. Picks up 4 yards. I mean, that's all you need right here. Control the clock.
2nd and 6 from the 19 of Acadiana. Another empty set for Guernsey. Guernsey gets the snap, looking to throw it. He finds KB. KB gets it towards the middle of the field again. He's going to have Papa Bear first down yardage as we're going to move the sticks again, as this drive is just – it's been very well executed and very well called. I think this has just been really impressive from a scheme perspective, though, you mentioned. You don't have to go for the big chunk plays. You could dink and dunk, move the sticks. It's almost like an extension of the run.
Yeah, and, we know after last week, this isn't going to be a Lafayette, Sam Houston, Sulphur, Barb game. There aren't going to be the giant chunk plays tonight. It's going to be a grind-out game.
1st and 10 Bears from the 13-yard line. Guernsey, empty set again. Love the empty set so far tonight. Trip receivers to the far side, and they're going to call a timeout. Seabab I don't know, is he fussing at Seabab for lining up wrong? No, he's at Guernsey. He's not watching the clock as GP was not happy right there as he wanted to get that play off. He liked the like the matchup that he saw, but the play clock was running out.
Yeah, crucial moment right there. How much time do we have left? I'm asking you, and guys, don't think I can't see. It's just
5:14.
We're in a 3-foot press box facility right here. So 5:14 left on the clock. Those are the timeouts that you don't want to lose when you have everything going in your favor. I mean, it is 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. If you get the ball down to and it looks like about the 2.5 from right here, you get a whole nother set of downs, 1st and goal. Everything is going your way, and just not what you want right there. But Guernsey apparently didn't take note of the 25-second clock right there. But interesting, though, back in the empty set, they've had receivers out. They have moved the ball downfield with the pass. They've utilized Taylor twice on this drive, one for Little, one for a first down. Very interesting to see how Gavin Peters continues to manipulate the clock and Guernsey executes the offense.
Empty set again as Carencro continues to take advantage. It looks like Acadiana is just playing man on the outside, and they're taking advantage of those matchups in the empty room underneath. Guernsey, trip receivers to the far side. Duffy, the lone receiver, in near tight. Looking to throw the football out towards his right. He'll be flushed out of the pocket. Looking to run now. He'll shake the first tackler, but then be brought down in the backfield. That's the first sack of the night for the Acadiana High Wrecking Rams, as he'll be dropped for a yard loss.
And I hate saying this because it sounds really negative, but a little bit of common sense has to kind of factor in on a play like that. When you've been empty, you've thrown it every single time. So you know Acadiana is going to pin their ears back, and they're coming. So Guernsey has to be able to get rid of it early, or he's got to turn it upfield quick.
Guernsey back in the gun. Again, empty formation. Looking to throw the football. They send pressure. He'll be sacked. No, he runs out of the tackle. Now he'll spin forward. He's going to get all the way down to the 10-yard line. Boy, he flirted with danger almost back towards the 20. He was able to pick up some positive yardage, though, as he ran out of a tackle in the backfield. There is a flag on the play back at the 19, and they will get Carencro for holding.
You know, and hate to get the holding call right there, and I hate to be critical of the play calling right there, but in a sense, though, that's also the ultimate confidence in your players. You know, that you believe that, hey, I know this is here. I know you guys can get it. I'm trusting you to go out there and get it. As a parent, you have to want that trust from a coach in your kid.
2nd and 21 for the Bears. Guernsey's going to stick with the empty formation. Acadiana playing way off of the line of scrimmage in the secondary. It's going to be thrown quick and caught by Duffy at the 15 and immediately pushed out of bounds to set up a third and a little more manageable, to be more like 3rd and 13 now for the Bears.
There's got to be something this offensive staff is seeing, right?
Well, they were playing 10, 15 yards off the ball that time in the secondary.
I mean, it's just you're seeing almost the same look each time. There has got to be something that we certainly don't know. We haven't watched the amount of film that these guys have watched, but they see something.
He's going to stick in that same empty formation. 3rd and long. Guernsey gets the snap. He's going to throw it. It's going to be caught. Guernsey finds Brandon Duffy into the end zone, and Carencro retakes the lead. Cue the horns. This is a big boy fencing touchdown, as it's now 13-9 with 4:03 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter.
And there you go.
What a throw.
Did I not say there's something that they see that we don't necessarily see? And that's for all of the people that judge in the stands every single night, no matter what sport it is. Guys watch film. Coaches watch film. They have plans. They know what they're looking for. It doesn't always work out, but right there, a prime example of when a coach sees something on film, when he believes in his players, and his players go out and execute.
Duffy reels it in from Guernsey. A beautiful throw over the left shoulder. Latham's kick is up, and the Melanson Funeral Home PAT is good. It's now 14-9 with 4:03 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter. When we come back, it'll be the defense's turn right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. A high touchdown. Carencro answers with a touchdown drive of their own, capped off on the score from Carson Gursey to Brandon Duffy to give Carencro the lead with 4:03 left to play in this Pat's Printing second quarter. I'm waiting on the official call. I think we did get a running into the kicker as they ran into Matt Latham on that Melanson Funeral Home PAT, and they did. They're going to spot this football now at the 45 instead of the 40. So we're getting almost on that ram head right there, right in the middle of it, right, Coach?
Yes, it is a very interesting ram head, too, I will say. But nonetheless, any chance that Carencro can move the ball up the field, I think is a good thing. I think if you're Carencro and you had to go back to last week, to the last possession, offensive possession of the game.
And they're going to kick it deep from the scrum look. It'll be caught inside the 10-yard line by Gallion. Gallion quickly brings it towards the middle of the field, but he'll be dropped by a host of Bears just shy of the 25-yard line. Well executed kick right there on the coverage and by Latham.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job right there. They're saying, anytime they can push it up, it's a good thing right there. Good sky kick. Gets it to Gallion. Gallion took the yardage that was in front of him. And then once he met the host of Bears, he got absolutely nothing. Great job by the Carencro coverage team. Sets up 1st and 10 just inside the 25-yard line. Can Carencro get out of this quarter, this half?
It's interesting, though. Acadiana gets the football to start the second half, Coach. This is a mighty big possession for both of these teams. Under center is going to be LaMartina. He's going to fake the handoff and looking to throw the football. He's going to look for the better deep. He's going to throw it deep. It's going to be intercepted. It's going to be caught by Seabab. That's a best stop turnover as he picks it off at the 48-yard line. He gave the football a little enthusiastic spike, and that cued a flag, though, from the near side stripes. I believe they're going to get him for an unsportsmanlike conduct. Take the turnover, though, but you're going to have to bring the football a little bit deeper into Carencro territory.
Yeah, the penalty absolutely kills me. And I think the older I'm getting, that's a high school kid excited about a play right there. And he didn't
do it in the face.
He NFL spiked it.
He didn't raise it higher than his chest.
No, it was down underneath his waist, and he threw it down. I understand the penalty. I agree with the penalty. But I'm part of me, I don't know, man. Part of me is like, man, let kids be excited.
Let them have a little emotion out there.
But in the same like, I don't even know what to say. I'm almost halfway speechless. Babineau's got to be better than that.
Babineau with the interception from LaMartina gives Carencro the football back. Quickly, Carencro's going to come out on the field and again to the empty set. Trip receivers to the far side. Kaiden Davis, the lone receiver, in there tight. Looking to throw the football is Gursey, but he'll turn into a runner. Makes one man miss. He'll kind of dive forward. Gets almost to the 40 down. They'll give him credit to the 40. It's a great gain, Coach. Call it a gain of 7 on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Again, take what they give you. If Acadiana is going to play so tight and do a good job, no team has done a better job of locking up Carencro receivers than Southside. Acadiana would be probably in 2nd place right now. They've done a good job with that. It's a senior heavy secondary. But, man, they take that away, run the ball with Gursey.
2nd and 2. Low snap. Gursey goes down and gets it. Now he'll throw it wide, trying to get Babineau. Babineau will catch it on the far sideline, just shy of midfield, back where he caught the interception at the 48. That'll be a Papa Bear first down.
That's just a college play.
It's a big throw and catch.
That's a college play by Gursey, going across the field from one hash all the way to the sideline, and Babineau running a route that gets him open right there. Just a phenomenal job, man.
Carencro continues to love what they see out of the empty set. Hadn't went away from it since about midway through the last drive. Gursey back by himself. The lone receiver on this side is going to be Duffy. Trip receivers to the far side of the field. Gursey looking to throw it. He'll step up in the pocket and flick it over, trying to find KB back at midfield, but it sails over his head. But they have a pass incomplete and bring up 2nd and 10.
Not sure what happened right there, but interesting thing. I saw Mr. Finney a little bit excited right there. And I see Darius McKinley on his back right there. A little slow to get up, but back to the play itself. A little hard, a little quick right there, but got to see Kendrick Bernard come up with that pass right there. He's done a great job when he hauls the
Jersey
ball
could
in
almost
of
just
getting
kept it
some
in
yaks.
Rams.
He definitely could have, I agree.
Guernsey back by himself again. Goes down and gets the snap. He'll throw it. It'll be caught by Duffy across midfield. It looks like they'll give him credit to the 49. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Carencro.
So manageable, not ideal, but manageable right there. Carencro obviously wants to get the ball down all the way. Interesting little tidbit from our friend Joel Hilburn. If Guernsey's able to complete another throwing touchdown tonight, that's going to be his 30th throwing touchdown of the season.
Man, he's having a stellar sophomore season. Guernsey back in the gun by himself. This time a pair of receivers on both sides of the line. Looks like Carencro might have got caught with a false start right there, as it was all kind of out of starts. It looked like could have called it on Guernsey, could have been the tight end. There's a few guys. I don't know if it was just a miscommunication on when the snap was supposed to come.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit quick right there. I think it was a quick count. And, man, I mean, what's the saying in baseball? Tie goes to the runner. I mean, I thought both sides moved at the same time right there. But the stripes on the field have the way better vantage point. So we're going to trust them.
3rd and 13 from the 46. Guernsey by himself. They send a twist stunt at him, and they almost get him. He runs out of it and gets into Ram territory, and he was hunting for a first down. It's going to be close. It'll be just a yard shy. They will close it in on him quickly, Coach. In the backfield, the nifty footwork of Guernsey's able to elude the pressure and almost pick up the Papa Bear first down. It's 1 for the Bears. No doubt they'll keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, Guernsey not a speedster, right, by any stretch of means. He has good speed for a guy his size and a guy his age. But the one thing he does well is he runs with his knees up. A little Roger Craig-esque, if you may.
There'll be a timeout for Acadiana with 1:15 left to play in the second quarter. We're going to take that Tire Boss timeout with them. When we come back, it'll be 4th and 1 for Bears, right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium, where your Carencro Golden Bears lead the Acadiana High Wrecking Rams 14-9 with 11:15 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter. It'll be 4th and 1 for Carencro from the Acadiana 43-yard line. Carencro's offense will be on the field. They're going to stay in the shotgun. It's going to be Guernsey with Taylor to his right. Trip receivers to the far side. They're stacked on top of each other in the slot. Guernsey gets the snap, and he'll hand the football off to Taylor, and he'll fall forward and have enough, I believe.
I don't think so.
No. I think he will be. He'll come up short. Initial surge looked like he was going to get it.
He got the ball hard.
It'll be a first down for Acadiana as they stop Carencro on 4th down. Carencro's 0 for 2 tonight on 4th down tries, both 4th and 1 opportunities. This is dangerous territory for Carencro with 1:09 left to play in the first half, and Acadiana set to receive that second half kickoff.
Yeah, you know, and it becomes a little bit dangerous when you trust a little too much in one offensive set. You know, we saw empty, and it was successful. Right there, when they had to go back to Taylor in the running back position, it was a brand new set. The last time they ran a play, they ran the same exact thing.
La Martina turned around, but nobody was there with him. He'll be drugged down from behind, getting in on the sack. Sophomore Hayden Monroe drops him back all the way at the 33.
How good can Hayden Monroe be if he can play at that speed, tempo, effort all of the time? Like that's one of the biggest things around the young sophomore. If he can be that guy all of the time, the future could be really bright for that young man.
2nd and long for Acadiana. LaMartina back under center. Looking to throw the football to be a quick slant. They find Gallion at the 40. Babineau in on the coverage, comes in quickly to tackle him. Set up 3rd and long from the Acadiana high 40.
Acadiana looking to play with some pace right there.
Acadiana's going to take a timeout right there. I was interested to see that they were going to play with a little pace. You thought that they, I know that it's 3rd and long. There's 25 seconds left to play in the half, but man,
well, it was interesting after the big sack by Monroe. Like, that was the quickest they've gotten to the line, and Carencro almost got caught with a couple of those young guys kind of reveling in the moment a little bit. Didn't have a great alignment. Eventually got there, but I don't know that Carencro could have played the ball a little bit better if they kind of just had that next play mentality to a certain extent.
25.1 seconds left to play in the Pat Sprinting second quarter. Football at the 40-yard line of the Rams. Carencro's defense so far tonight has been pretty solid. Gave up the 1 touchdown drive when they went with a run-heavy dose of the Veer after the big return by DeBetta. Outside of that, though, Carencro's defense has been stout.
Yeah, they've done a good job containing up the middle. The only time that they've given up significant yardage has been to the edge. They have got to absolutely set that edge for the remainder of the night.
LaMartina back under center. He'll fake the handoff and look to throw the football down the field. Be flushed out of the pocket by Will Laverne and finally brought down. Will Laverne and company come in with the sack, and it will bring up 4th down at the 40 as the clock continues to run. 10 seconds left to play, and I think Acadiana might be okay they might be okay letting this go down, and they will. As we head to halftime, the Carencro Golden Bears lead Acadiana 14-9. When we come back, it'll be time for the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network and Mustang 107.1.
you ready to launch your future? Welcome to the Academy of Information Technology at Carencro High School, the premier magnet academy for cutting-edge education in computer science, information technology, and media arts. Dive into a world where your interests come alive. In AOIT, you'll explore
From Bill Dotson Stadium, where your Carencro Golden Bears lead Acadiana 14-9 after the first half of play. Coach, I'm going to rattle off some stats right now, and it's not to make you feel more confident, but when you hear these numbers, you're going to say, man, we're really dialed in on the game plan. I'll say that. So far tonight, for Acadiana, 4 first downs. On the other side of the ledger, your Carencro Golden Bears, 8 Papa Bear first downs. 48 rushing yards for Carencro on 13 attempts. Acadiana, 21 attempts for 51 yards. Carencro still able to stack them up well at the line of scrimmage. This is where Carencro's been deadly tonight. 11 for 13 for 165 yards and 1 interception. Acadiana, 1 for 4 with an interception for only 7 yards. So total offense, Coach, 26 plays, 213 yards of total offense for the Carencro Golden Bears. Acadiana, 25 for 58, averaging 8 yards a play for your Golden Bears, parts of play. 4 penalties tonight for Carencro, 2 for Acadiana. We'll look at the individual stats, and rushing's not going to be a whole lot to write home about, but the big one is Carson Gursey really finding himself in the pocket, climbing the ladder, stepping up, and finding open real estate, especially when they're in man coverage. He has 7 carries for 32 yards tonight, including a few Papa Bear first downs. Seabab, 1 for 9. Kylan Taylor, 3 for 6. Chris Baham, 1 for 1. And TJ Jackson, 1 for 0. Receiving the football tonight, Seababs continue to have a dominant senior season. 3 catches for 106 yards and a score. Brandon Duffy, 5 for 34 and a score. Gursey himself caught a football from Seabab, 1 from 9. And KB chipping in with 2 for 16. It's been a balanced attack to a certain extent. I know the numbers are going to be way skewed to the rushing yards, but the way they played this, even out of the empty set, allowing Carson Gursey to find open real estate when they're in man coverage, and he's taking it, and he's running the football down the field, is very impressive the way they came in with the game plan.
Well, you know, I have to give credit to my wife. She's been around me for a long time, and she said, you know, it's tough to beat somebody 2 times in a year, much less 2 times in a row. And a lot of times that really comes down to coaching. Sometimes it's Jimmy's and Joe's, right? But a lot of times it's going to be X's and O's in a semi-even matchup. And when you look at the adjustments, is this the same offense that we saw last week? No, it's kind of different, right?
They play with a lot more confidence. I think last week there was so much pressure in his face as soon as he got the snap. And his first instinct last week was always to go in reverse. This week, his first step is up the pocket, climb the ladder, get to the open field, and that adjustment alone has been worth dividends for Carencro as far as moving the sticks.
So, you know, if you're in the stands, you know what you call that? You call that Carson Gursey. But to the people that know, you would say that's a well-coached Carson Gursey. That's a Carson Gursey who sat down with coaches on Saturday morning and again on Sunday and spent the entire day in the Carencro football offices on Sunday and broke down every aspect and said, okay, like, these guys aren't going to change that much. We can't change that much. We have to be who we are, and they're going to have to be who they are. But how can we be who we are a little bit better than we were last week? And I think that's what you're seeing. You know, there's no dramatic scheme shift. There weren't a lot of new plays put in. Babineau at quarterback, throwing it to Gursey, putting Gursey in different spots. Babineau running it, a wildcat look. That's new, right? But I mean, that's
seen a
not,
handful of those
yeah,
plays.
That's not complicated, right? It's the adjustments that they have made.
Out of the base offense too, you know. It's really
they're not doing anything different. They're not recreating the wheel. They knew that they had a good formula coming into last week, and one of the things that we talked about from week 1 were the self-inflicted wounds when players made undisciplined decisions in different points in time, and it hurt. And sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't. And last week, every single one of them, every time in a game like this or in a playoff game, when you make decisions that affect the team in a negative way, everyone has a major impact. It's multiplied, it's doubled, it's tripled.
And not to echo you too much, but we give a little bit of homage to our boy, Mr. Big Dave Thibodeau. The SIWs continue to go down. And it's interesting. And the bigger the moment, they go down. And tonight, we saw only two really bonehead-type plays. And one of them was the Kaiden Davis blocked from behind when Seabab was further down the field. And the other one was the interception on the opening play of the game. Carencro was able to withstand that. That's a mature football team. That's a team that's confident in themselves to come back, and I think that's very impressive. If you just joining us right now on the Nolan's Lawnmower Carencro halftime show, your Golden Bears lead 14-9 after the first half of play. I'm going to give you a couple more stats, Coach. Time of possession almost equal. Carencro 12 minutes and 1 second. Acadiana 11:59. One thing I think is interesting, 2 for 4 on third down for Carencro. Not bad. Acadiana continues to just matriculate that football down the field. 5 for 8 for Acadiana on third down. Carencro 0 for 2 on fourth down. But this is the stat tonight. 2 sacks for Acadiana. Last week it was 5, but last week I felt like it could have been 10. Tonight I think they got the 2 they should have got. He ran out of a couple of them, and he's able to just kind of extend the play, playing heads up, as you mentioned, making those adjustments. Carencro also getting a sack on their own. You don't want to overthink it. You don't want to go back and say, well, what should we do? What can we do different? Well, do you have to do something different? Can you keep doing the same thing? Maybe some different wrinkles into it, but don't overthink it. With the offensive game plan tonight is working. Keep running it till they can't.
So the one thing of I'm the first to admit that I'm not a very good coach in any way, means, shape, or form, but I've tended to learn a couple things over the years, and the more that me personally, and I think I could speak for a lot of high school and college coaches out there, the more you tend to overthink things, the more you tend to say that, oh, well, let's add in this, let's adjust this, the worse it ends up making you.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, you establish your identity long before the season starts in a good program, and if you don't do that, then you're really not a program at all. But before you ever do the first rep in the weight room, before you ever run the first sprint on the football field, you have to know in your head what your identity is going to be. And then you have to work all year long towards that identity. And the moment that you get away from that identity is when you're in trouble.
Huge shout out to our AOIT department, Mr. Seth Dickerson and company. Also, Mr. Benji Desitel, who came out tonight. We're doing our first road Carencro playoff game on the stream, and I couldn't be prouder of this student-led organization that's making it happen tonight. And, hey, how about the birthday boy? Mr. Benji Desitel turned 19 yesterday, celebrating his birthday with us tonight in the press box. It's today. The birthday's today, so we're celebrating the birthday tonight in Bill Dotson Stadium. We're going to step aside for our first break of the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show. When we come back, we'll have sports from around the area and around the state right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Guitar joined alongside Coach Christopher Kovac as we're having a great time over at Bill Dotson Stadium so far tonight. Your Golden Bears lead 14-9.
Hey, I want to tell you about a score while we're at it. We got a little background noise going right now, but I'm going to tell you about a great score. Now, it's not football, okay? Are you good with that?
Yeah.
So over in Lake Charles right now, the Ragin' Cajuns and their new heralded program took that trip down to the Legacy Center. I don't think it's the Legacy Center anymore. It's got a new fancy name. Townsend Center maybe. McNeese 88, UL 62
Is that
in
3
men's
years in a row?
basketball.
3 years in a row
Ooh,
making
man.
these wins?
Yeah.
There's no General Will Wade, too, on the other side.
No, Will was busy scoring 100 points a night at North Carolina State. But, I mean, I know that's a basketball score, but, man, how about that for shaking it up?
Hey, quick scores from around the area and state. East Ascension up 36-3 against West Washita. Zachary 21, Salmon 3. Wachita Parish 14, Sanama 7. Central 21, Dutchtown 14. Mandeville 20, Thibodaux 7. Natchitoches Central 14, Terrebonne 14. How about this one? Bar Bucks, our neighbors in the district, up 28-14. Southside 24-7 against the Prairieville Hurricanes. West Monroe 35, South Lafourche 7. Parkway 22, Covington 16. Down the bracket into 2A. Actually, I'm trying to get the 1A select here. Here we go, 1A select right here. St. Paul's 49, Pineville 0. Brother Martin 14, Liberty 0. Rummel 7, Holy Cross 0. STM 21, Lafayette 0. Captain Shreve 41, Hammond 21. And that'll do it from scores from around the area. We're going to take our last break of the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show. When we come back, it'll be second half action as Carencro leads Acadiana 14-9 right here on your home for Carencro High football, Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1.
Beer.
Right back to it as we're going to get out of the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show and into the Sheriff Mark Garber third quarter. Your Carencro Bears lead Acadiana 14-9 after the first half of play. As we kind of mentioned in the first segment of the halftime show, the stat line is just dominated by Carencro. Over 200 yards of total offense of the game, 165 yards passing. And it's been a lot out of the empty set. Carson Guerzy's taking advantage, stepping up in the pocket and rushing as Carencro offensive coordinator Joey Dewire's pretty enthusiastic coming in. And you know what he's worried about? How's Benji doing on the stream? You gotta respect Coach Joey Dewire wanting all things Carencro to be successful.
You know, and I've got to say, you know, there are people who have come, there are people who have gone throughout Carencro High School lore, and the ones who are true, the ones dare I use the term OGs,
yeah,
you know, they're the ones who care about all things Carencro High, you know, because there are some who have come through and pretended that they really cared about it, and they really didn't. It was just for show. It was for them. But, man, there are some people out there like a Joey Dwyer, like a Derek Franchek, those sort of guys, maybe even you and I a little bit,
maybe,
you know,
Don't give us too much credit.
Yeah, well, we just care about everything, man.
That football was teed up, and it's going to be a quick kick by Latham. It's going to be
fake reverse.
Fake reverse, and Gallian's going to keep it along the right side. Trying to get to that far sideline. He's going to slip and fall as the turf monster will tackle him back at the 37-yard line. And that's where Acadiana's going to come out and start their drive. They're actually going to give them, they can give credit to the 38, it looks like. So not as originally it looked like they're going to bring it out to the 40, Coach.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that turf monster, man. Sometimes it will absolutely get you, and got the ball carrier down right there. And a little nifty, a little halfway trickery. Not giving the full trickery.
It wasn't the best kick to run that on. It was a low-line drive.
But you have to expect that, too.
The Betta's going to come out under center now in the split back veer. He's going to look to throw the football. It's going to be caught by Gallion just past the line of scrimmage. Makes the first man miss, and then it'll be tackled by Rontrell Woods and Will Laverne. It'll be a gain of 8 on the play and bring up 2nd and 2.
And Duffy really had him almost at the line of scrimmage right there. Gallion, a little bit older, able to break free, gets a nice pickup right there.
They like that quick. It's almost like a slant pass. That quick inside pass to
it's
Gallion.
Not as pretty, right? Not as pretty as
he doesn't let him get enough depth, really. He throws it so quickly out there. The Betta under center. Gallion's going to be almost like an H-back this time. It'll be the end around of Gallion. He's hunting midfield. He's going to run out of a couple tackles, still on his feet. Rontrell Woods trying to bring him down. He'll finally get some help from Duffy. That's going to push him out of bounds at the 31-yard line as Acadiana's marching already in the Carencro territory.
And that's just will and want to right there by Gallion. I mean, he's running straight up through the line. He's got the ball toted loose against, I won't say against his body. It wasn't against his body. It was dangling out there, only 2 points of contact right there. But he just ran so hard that he picks up the first down to the 32-yard line.
The Betta back under center in the split back. Going to roll it outside the left side of the line of scrimmage. That's going to be Kennison. He's going to gain 4 yards make it 5 yards on the play to bring up 2nd and 5. Almost one of those rolling starts, though. That left tackle, I don't know if he ever got a set.
3 times in a row, the left tackle has come straight up. I mean, I'm really surprised that hasn't been a call. But, I mean, we have to trust the officials. They're down there. They have we have the bird's eye view. They've got the, I don't know what you call that. I mean, you're pretty darn close to the ball.
We almost had the pigeon scoop up here, though, Coach.
Man,
center. The Betta, 2 backs behind him, a receiver to each side. He's going to hand the football off to Seymour. Seymour trying to get back towards the line of scrimmage. Won't get there. Maybe a yard on the play. They'll say he got to the 25. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for Acadiana. Rontrell Woods and company in on the tackle.
The change of pace right here from Acadiana. I mean, just a much quicker approach to the line of scrimmage, a much quicker attack, a quick cadence at the line. And, we already talked about that. That left tackle is coming off before that ball is snapped. He is coming off every time.
He's not getting set for sure.
No, that is an Acadiana staple, if anything, right there.
They're going to stick with the Betta under center. Similar situation earlier in the ball game. They ran that quarterback counter look. The Betta sets the line of scrimmage.
There it is.
It will be the quarterback counter. It'll be tripped up. Looked like Wilson Landry got to him, and it's going to be just shy of first down yardage. They'll say he got down to the 22. It's going to bring up 4th and 1. I have no doubt the Acadiana Wrecking Rams offense will stay on the field.
Did you fill out your application yet? I mean, because you called that one. You called that one right there. I mean, to the T.
A broken clock's right twice a day, Coach.
I'm willing to bet the Carencro coaches were probably saying the same thing, just Bears unable to stop them right there.
The Betta under center, 4th and 1. They hand the football off straight up the middle. Needed a yard. I think they're going to get it. He's going to push close to the 20. Just need to get it to the 21 to get the first down. I believe he got it all the way to the 20, and they're going to move the sticks. Waiting on the official call, but it will be a first down for Acadiana. That's what they do to you, though, Coach.
Oh, it is fundamental Acadiana football right there. I mean, that goes back decades and decades in this program. And
these drives that just milk the clock like that make you have to be efficient on offense. You can't have, slip-ups and get 3 and outs. 1st and 10 for Acadiana at the 21-yard line of the Bears. It's been the Betta in the second half under center. This time they run option to the outside. He's going to pitch it in on the tackle. Chance Babineau shots out of a cannon to make the tackle. A big loss back behind the 25 to the 26. It's going to bring up 2nd and 16 for the Rams.
And you know, that's what we saw from Babineau in week 1 against St. Thomas More. His ability to spill the play, to get through a blocker, and then run through the ball carrier. I mean, again, you know, I remember saying it. You and I are up in St. Thomas More press box, and he looked like a Division I defensive back right there. And once again, he did it.
2nd and long for Acadiana. The better under center, receiver to each side. He is going to throw it. It's going to be caught by Gallion. He drops it. They just try to throw the little spot pass at the line of scrimmage. Goes in and out of the hands of Gallion. Babineau was waiting for him. It'll bring up 3rd and long now for the Rams.
And I think that's been one of the issues for Acadiana is sometimes Gallion is kind of – he and Duffy are kind of similar to a certain extent where sometimes, man, he just has that big play ability, and sometimes the routine plays just don't end up panning out, right?
It's interesting they went to that. It's not like Carencro was playing back deep off the line of scrimmage. I mean,
well, you know, I kind of think it was kind of panicky. Like you got stuffed. You're 2nd and 15, and you panic.
Rotate the pocket out. The better's going to throw the wheel route. Has the running back Seymour wide open across the 10 and into the end zone. Acadiana regains the lead. It's now 15-14 with 7:34 left to play in the Sheriff Mark Garber third quarter.
Yeah, not what you want. Not what you want if you are Carencro, and a great job by Acadiana. Kind of essentially questioning the did they go into panic mode after the sack right there?
Might have been a setup.
And was it a setup? If so, it was an amazing play call. Kudos to them.
The snap is down. The kick is up, and it's off the upright again. The PAT is no good. The score is going to stay at 15-14 with Acadiana leading by 1 with 7:34 left to play in the third. When we come back, Carencro's offense will have the football for the first time in the second half right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Bill Dotson Stadium, Carencro Acadiana in the midst of another classic matchup as the Acadiana High Wreaking Rams just took the lead 15-14 with 7:34 left to play in the third. Set to kick off the football to the Bears is Marquez. Duffy's waits to kick back at the Carencro 10. Leads up to the football and kicks it deep. Duffy's going to catch it over the head at the 2-yard line. Now he's looking for running room. Trying to make one man miss, runs into another tackler, and he'll be tackled inside the 20-yard line. And there is a flag on the play. I believe they're going to get DeRace James on a hold. So starting at the likely inside the 10-yard line here, we'll have to see where they spot it.
You know, and again, it'll be a holding against DeRace James right there. And they actually – the official actually called the player who's it against, which you're not supposed to do at the high school level. But, we can kind of do it in the radio, but NCAA rules allow you to do it. High school does not. But that's a ball that Duffy should have let go in the end zone. Yeah. And if it does, that holding penalty doesn't hold, and the Bears are going to get the ball.
Instead of starting it at the 7, you're starting at 20.
It's a big difference. I mean, that's just a little bit of wisdom right there.
Guernsey back in the shotgun. One back to his right. Going to bring him in across the formation is going to be Cormier. Sprints out to the right, looking to throw it. He's going to throw it to Cormier. It's just going to be a little low. Be incomplete as the football skipped up to be White. They like to do that earlier in the ball game to Duffy, but never out of the motion. The first time you really seen him do it out of the motion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different look. It moves everything right there. But, you know, I mean, as in any single play that you run, when you don't convert at this down and distance, at this spot of the field, it's tough.
It's getting loud in Bill Dotson Stadium. 2nd and 10 from the 7-yard line. Guernsey, empty set this time. Trip receivers to the far side. He gets pressure in his face right away, and there's a flag on the play. Carencro getting started a little early. They'll back this one up, and it'll be 2nd and long.
And I hate to see that right there because Acadiana actually, they're stemming right there. I mean, in other words, the 4 down linemen that have their hands on the ground, they actually all 4 shifted and they slid to the right towards the home side of the stadium, towards the boundary at the same time that Carencro was trying to run the play, and Carencro didn't handle it well, and not a good look.
Spotted at the 4-yard line. Guernsey has his feet in the end zone out of the shotgun. Looking to throw the football down the field. He'll be flushed out of the pocket quickly. He's sacked as they'll get him in the backfield. He'll be dropped back at the 3-yard line. Just couldn't get out of the second wave of defenders.
Yeah, a lot of guts, a lot of moxie in the play call right there. You know, you see a lot of times a lot of people run the ball right there and try to put themselves in a position to kind of set up a good passing down. And right there is pass from Carencro. Tough spot.
3rd and long for the Bears. Backed up on the goal line. Guernsey out in the shotgun. Flushed out of the pocket. This time he's going to decide to run much quicker. Has a little bit of a running lane. Runs out of a couple tacklers. He'll be finally drugged down at the 13-yard line. It was a good run by Guernsey, but nowhere needed for Papa Bear first down yardage. Will make the punt maybe a little bit more comfortable than having to receive it deeper in your end zone.
Yeah, you know, I kind of like to see that one on first down, essentially, and move
Makes everything more manageable, you know?
Yeah, just make it manageable right now because, as you said, you know, it is going to be a much better position to punt the ball. But, I mean, there's no Damian or Brady Dalfrey punting the ball for the Golden Bears.
It's going to be Guernsey.
You know?
They still don't have enough guys out on the field. Wilson Landry is going to come in late. 6 seconds left on the play clock, and Carencro's going to have to burn a timeout early in the second half. Coach GP is definitely not happy about that.
Those are what Gavin Peters calls GLPs, game-losing plays. You know, you have to eliminate game-losing plays. The game is going to be hard enough, you know, when it's you versus the other team. You know, you're not going to make all winning plays, right? But when you make game-losing plays, man, it makes it almost impossible.
What's your thoughts on just not taking the penalty there and keeping that timeout in your back pocket?
You know, I think at the college level, when you have guys who really think the game a little bit more, I think that's ideally what you want to do. I think it might be what they were stuck with right there, and I think you might have had some emotion come into that play, some frustration from 3 downs of not being productive, bottom line.
Carencro's going to come out in their true punt formation. This will be a spread look with Guernsey's feet back at the 2-yard line. He'll bring in the gunners, Monroe and Babineau in tight.
It is getting loud in Bill Dotson Stadium.
It's a good snap, and it's a decent punt, though. It's going to send the better back a little bit. He's trying to get to this near sideline. White almost had him to run out of that tackle before he's brought down at the 35 of Carencro, as they're already in good field position to start the drive.
Yeah, unfortunately, could be, I hate saying it, but it could be the turning point of the game.
Look, Carencro has that back against the wall a couple times tonight and came out unscathed. I go back to the opening drive after the interception. They were able to only come out of that with 3. Ideally right here, you don't want to give up a score, as Acadiana milked a lot of time off the clock on their last drive with just 5:53 left to play in this third. The better's going to go in the center in the split back. Gets the snap, hands the football off in the inside veer look. They're going to gain 3 on the play and bring up 2nd and 7.
You know, it's so deceitful, this Acadiana offense. You know, they give you the split back look, and I mean, it's just it's give, 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 give until it isn't give, basically. You know, there's not even a read out of it. You know, if we go back to Herman Boone, and you know we're remembering
it's like
the Titans,
Novocaine, man.
you know, it's a read offense. I mean, it's give, 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 and then they pull one.
The better back under center. This time he hands it to Seymour. Seymour's trying to get to the corner, and he couldn't do it. We dropped at the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for Acadiana.
And that's the approach that Acadiana wants right here. They want to eat up clock, get a couple yards at a pop, and then, I mean, they've proven that with an athlete like DeBetta, they're going to be able to pull out the big one when they need it. You know, I doubt it comes through the air, but it's probably going to come through DeBetta's feet.
DeBetta back under center. 2 receivers to the far side of the field. 2 backs behind him. He's going to hand it off to Seymour again. Seymour turns his back and just pushes forward. Gets across the 25 and still pushing all the way down to the 22-yard line, and that's going to be an Acadiana first down. Yeah. Almost in reverse.
Yep. And it's, you know, I mean, it is an absolute byproduct of what Carencro wanted to do last week. You know, they wanted to come out, set the tempo early, have a chance second half, and Acadiana came out. They got the ball to start the second half, and they have done exactly what they wanted to. They scored, got a stop, field position game.
And they're running the clock too, Coach. They're just vintage Acadiana. DeBetta takes his time, goes under center. Fakes the handoff. It's going to be a quarterback keep. He shakes a tackler, gets to the outside boundary before he's pushed out of bounds. Could have had him in the backfield. Wasn't meant to be. He was finally pushed out of bounds by 73, Kelvin Hilaire. Gained a few yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
You know, and we said it weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pretty much for the most part, maybe even week 8, that, you know, when you have the opportunity to make the play in the backfield and you don't do it, you're not going to be playing deep into November. And right there, another prime example. Same kind of counter look that we saw with the quarterback, with DeBetta. They had him behind the line and unable to bring him down.
2nd and 7. Acadiana under center. They're going to look to throw the football. They're trying to find Lamartino on the far side of the field. It's going to be in and out of the hands. In on the coverage right there was Derek Lotz. A lot of contact. No flag thrown. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. A little surprised that they didn't throw the flag there. Lamartina had good body position. Lotz kept hand battling, though, and was able to bat the football away.
Yeah, you know, I think Lamartina got the post up, essentially, if we can use the term, and then Lotz just won the hand game from there.
There's no over the back, Coach, in football either.
No over the back right there. No over the back. No such call. But, I mean, Lotz just won the hand war. As the ball came to Lamartina's hands, Lotz won the hand game right there.
3rd and 7. DeBetta looking to throw it again. This time it's going to be a slant pass. Caught by Gallion. Runs through a tackler. Runs through another tackler. Hunting for the end zone. He stretches forward, and he's going to fall just a yard shy. In on the tackle was Babineau, but Gallion using that big frame to shield off defenders and break tacklers and hunt for the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson Landry, again, had him at the catch. And just let him go. Really, you know, I mean, honest to goodness, I mean, those are just the plays that you have to make to win playoff games.
1st and goal for Acadiana. 3:12 left to play in the 3rd. DeBetta's going to go back under center. Gets the snap. He's going to surge forward, looking for the end zone. Didn't get the call yet. He ended the play way deep in the backfield. They're going to say he was down at the 1, I believe. It's going to be just shy of the end zone. It'll bring up 2nd and goal with 2:50 left to play in the 3rd.
You know, one would have to think that the point is moot right here. Acadiana is going to come up with points, and with this many opportunities to get in the end zone, they're going to get in the end zone. I mean, Acadiana has not been stopped necessarily by Carencro in these situations yet. Next big thing is, can Carencro come out and score and get a 2-point conversion?
DeBetta under center. This time he's going to run the football. He's going to hand it off to the up back, and he gets into the end zone easily. Touchdown Acadiana as they extend the lead. It's now 21-14 with 2:22 left to play in the 3rd.
And the crowd goes wild at Bill Dotson Stadium. It is once again packed on the home side. Have to admit that the Carencro side has way more people than they had a week ago. I can only wonder what difference the crowd would have made a week ago. Would it have had an impact? Does it have that much impact in the game? But I can tell you this. The crowd definitely has an impact on the home team here at Bill Dotson Stadium. It's a great environment. They get behind it. It's a huge student section. I mean, it's a great high school football environment.
Acadiana thought momentarily to go for two. They elect to bring the kicker out. Missed 2 extra points already tonight. This kick, though, is up, and it is true. The extra point makes it 22-14 Acadiana with 2:22 left to play in the third. When we step aside, come back, it'll be Carencro's turn on offense, the answer, right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Welcome back to Bill Dotson Stadium, where Acadiana just took the football down the field and struck in the end zone to extend the lead. They're winning now 22-14. Carencro looking to answer back. Coach, I really want them to set themselves up with better field position and not be so far behind the curve.
Yeah, I mean, starting field position is always a key, and sometimes they've gotten it, sometimes they haven't. It's all about decision making.
This time it's Kendrick Bernard returning the kick. He makes one man miss, makes another, but he'll be drugged down by a bunch of Rams. Couldn't get to the 20. They'll get him at the 18 still. Better than starting with your back at your own goal line.
Sorry, trying to peek in just so I can see the time on the clock there. It's kind of hard in our little closet that we're here.
We're making do with what we have, and really credit the AOIT program for bringing the stream to you guys first time on the road in a playoff environment. Guernsey's going to come out in the shotgun. Chris Bayham is going to be the back to his left. Twin receivers to this near side. One receiver to the far side is going to be Kaiden Davis. Guernsey doesn't look like he likes the alignment, but he'll think better of it and set the line of scrimmage. Hand the football off to Bayham. Bayham dances around a little bit before he darts forward. Gains a couple yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Bears.
Kind of what we saw from the Golden Bears when they started the game. And then we hadn't seen Bayham almost from that moment for the most part. A lot of different sets, a lot of empty sets right there, where Guernsey was alone in the backfield with trips to one side, single receiver to the other side.
Well, they also got to get some rest to Seabab and Duffy, who've been on the field a bunch on both sides. 2nd and 7 now for Carencro. Guernsey with Bayham in the shotgun. Guernsey looking to throw the football down the field, has plenty of time, still surveying, still trying to find somebody open. It's going to be a flag on the play as Guernsey ran out of a tackle. This is no doubt going to be in vicinity of holding.
You know, and just the thing that just kills me right now is comes back to the district schedule and how it ended up. You know, you saw 3 tough opponents in the first 3 weeks of the season, and you had pretty good coverage on the outside, not high-scoring games from the Golden Bears. And then the first 5 opponents that Carencro played, nobody could contain the receivers from Carencro, and the passing game was easy.
Acadiana declines the penalty. It'll bring up 3rd and 8 with 1:23 left to play in the third quarter.
Almost a spit in your eye right there, huh?
Man. Guernsey back in the gun. Babineau back out on the field, inside slot receiver to the far side. Guernsey gets the snap, hands the football off on a draw look to Bayham. Bayham shakes the first tackler, but he'll be brought down at the 25. I don't think this is in a position, Coach, where you could really go for it. It's going to be 4th and about 4 yards. I don't think that would be wise. You think they even toyed with the ideal?
No, I don't think it's even a decision right here. Carencro, way too many yards to give up right now. You've given up the short field position this entire half. Only bad thing is, I mean, you haven't gained all that much by punting either. I mean, the Bears truly lacking a true punter. We saw Babineau punt for 3 years. Gursey has taken over in those duties, and he's done an admirable job.
Gursey, with the shallow punt, he's going to get it off. It's going to be one of his better punts. It's going to be fielded by DeBetta at the 40. DeBetta searching for running room. He's going to be met up by Seabab, and Seabab's going to drop him at the 45-yard line, and that's where they're going to start their drive. 10 seconds left to play in the third.
Thank goodness Babineau was there first. I mean, I feel like
he's the most short-handed tackler.
Yeah, Babineau has been the best tackler throughout this year. Rontrell Woods coming in at a close second on that list, but I mean, there's not a lot of good tacklers on this Carencro team. And early on in the year it was coaching, right? Coaching, make them tackle, do tackle drills. The social media was rampant. Like 10 weeks in, 11 weeks in, and the same guys aren't doing it. You're going to tell me that coaches haven't practiced that?
DeBetta back under center. He's going to hand the football off straight up the middle to Kennerson. Kennerson surges forward into Carencro territory at the 47-yard line. And that'll do it for the third quarter. As we head to the fourth quarter, we have a one-score game in Scott as we play for the right to go to the second round right here on your home for Carencro High Football, Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Second and 2 for Acadiana from the 47 of Carencro. Carencro trailing by 8, 22-14 as we start the fourth quarter. DeBetta under center looking to throw the football. He's going to hit LaMartina, but it's going to go in and out of the hands. In on the coverage was number 23, Amari Dennis.
Not really sure. Our guy DeBetta right there, man, he just absolutely, LaMartina, he just chunks Amari Dennis, who is down kind of by his leg after just going to make a play right there. Seemed like it was a little unsportsmanlike, but, I mean, I respect it from LaMartina. And, I mean, on the flip side, Dennis, I mean, man, get up and just go to the next play. But kind of thought that might have been a penalty.
Third and 2. Acadiana's going to hand the football off. It's going to be Seymour. Seymour surges past the line of scrimmage and picks up their first down for Acadiana as they're going to keep the drive going.
In the road ahead for whoever comes out of this game tonight, it certainly doesn't get any easier. But, I mean,
St. Aug could be the second best team in the state. Third best, them Turlings really battling. Carr's probably the king of the jungle there. But after that, St. Aug and Turlings might be tip for tap.
And St. Aug's a team who is really just starting to come to its own. Second year under Robert Valdez. I mean, they're just going to keep getting better.
DeBetta hands the football off. This time it's Kennison who gets it across the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 4 on the play and bring up 2nd and 6.
What the future does hold for the Carencro Bears is so intriguing to me. This sophomore class has some absolute studs in it, some weapons. But them putting it all together and then filling in the pieces around them is going to be really one of the most interesting pieces. That Carencro secondary is very senior-laden. Leaving it at that. Leave the conversation at that.
Football at the 39-yard line of the Bears. 10:57 left to play in the ball game. As Acadiana goes to their snail pace.
Oh, about to say.
It's like their four-corner version, right?
Yep. We saw a very fast pace. I think they saw some success moving quickly early, and now it is the exact opposite.
DeBetta hands the football off to Seymour. Seymour still fighting. He'll finally be brought down. Hayden Monroe and company come up to clean it. It'll be a gain of a couple on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Acadiana with 10:20 left to play in the game.
Just some hard-nosed, old-fashioned running right there by Acadiana. The kind of stuff they used to see from Carencro years ago. And then Carencro has just kind of been a little bit lacking in the offensive backfield. A program who had so many all-district, all-state running backs just hasn't had the same for about 4 or 5 years now.
Under center, DeBetta. He's going to run the option to this near sideline. Gets across the line of scrimmage. Now he's into open field. He'll cut it back inside, and DeBetta's going to go into the end zone as Acadiana's going to extend the lead. It's now 28-14 with 9:48 left to play in the ball game as Acadiana just puts it to the Bears.
The one thing I dislike right there was the one guy who had a chance to make a play was Chance Babineau, and he never had the opportunity to get there because his jersey was eaten up by the wide receiver right there, and it was dead in front of the official. I mean, I thought it was a blatant holding call. I mean, I am biased, obviously, but, I mean, I thought that was holding.
The extra point is up, and it is through. It's now 29-14 with 9:48 left to play in the game. Carencro's offense will have to answer when we come back from the break on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Is getting pretty close to desperation time here from Bill Dotson Stadium as Carencro trails 15. That is 29-14 with 9:48 left to play in the game. And look, the score's still within reach. The reason why I say desperation time, Coach, is because the style of offense they play. If you give it back to them without putting points on the board, by the time you get it back, it might be too late.
Yeah, I mean, field position has left the Golden Bears in a spot where they have become stagnant.
It's going to be a sky kick out towards this near boundary, and it's going to check up, and it's going to be recovered. Looks like Carencro actually was able to fall on it late. Man, they just avoided a disaster play as that football just died when it hit the turf. Dentrell Morrison was able to come up with the football, but, man, that was almost just so scary for Carencro giving it right back to Acadiana.
Yeah, without saying names, we're just going to say that the deep back for Carencro just let the ball die in front of him, and Dentrell Morrison just absolutely busted his tail to get down there in what should have been a sure Acadiana ball. That would have been ball game. 1st
and 10 Bears from the 17. Gursey back in the shotgun by himself. He's going to get pressure immediately. He's going to throw a back shoulder fade. It's going to be caught by Kendrick Bernard. What a catch.
That's
down at the
time,
35.
Man.
That was a huge catch by KB.
That is an absolute big-time play right there by Bernard and a big-time throw by the sophomore Gursey right there.
They're going to spot this football at the 36-yard line. 9:40 left to play in the game. Gursey's going to be back by himself again. 2 receivers to each side. He has a tight end on the far side. Looking to throw the football. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to met by some resistance, and he's going to throw it underneath. It's going to be caught by Duffy just past the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard gained on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Carencro Bears.
Yeah, a little bit kind of a ugly play right there. It looks like Duffy wasn't sure of what to do. Kendrick Bernard seemed to instruct him what to do on the play. Ended up being a drag for Duffy across the middle. Able to come up with the catch, but only a gain of a yard.
Guernsey back in the gun. Again, they're going to go back to that empty formation that was so fruitful in the first half. 2 receivers to each side. Looking to throw the football down the field. He's going to be caught by Davis. Davis is going to bring it into Ram territory down at the 49. That's a Papa Bear first down pitch and catch.
Good to see Davis get involved in the passing game right there. Again, another guy who's got so much physical potential, man. And right there, he catches the ball and just has a burst.
Look at the speed he showed right there,
yeah,
Coach.
I mean, and talking about a guy with a 6'3", 6'4" frame right there, but just, unfortunately not able to really show it day in and day out to kind of gain the trust of the staff and his quarterback right there. But when he gets it, golly, he's electric.
Waiting on a call. They haven't moved the sticks yet. They have the football spotted at the 49-yard line of Acadiana. They haven't moved the sticks, and the Carencro coaching staff is out on the field trying to figure out what's going on. White Hats calling in the other officials, and they're still having a conference back at the 40.
We're having a convention at the 40-yard line here.
Illegal participation on the defense. 5 yards will be added to the end of the play. So instead of being at the 49, we'll march it 5 more yards down to. It's a 10-yard penalty, Coach? Okay.
It looks like, looks like it's going to be 10 right there. So, I mean, and if you're Carencro, one of the best things about that, it's a big gain while the clock is stopped, which is going to be an absolute must because, as you alluded to earlier, when Acadiana is going to come back with the ball, they are not going to throw the ball under any circumstances.
34-yard line of Acadiana, 1st and 10 Bears. Guernsey back in the gun, trip receivers to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side is Davis. Acadiana looks like they're going to send some pressure, but they back out. They're going to throw it underneath to KB, but it's going to be in and out of his hands at the 35. It'll be a pass incomplete and bring up 2nd and 10. But the good news is the clock didn't move much, Coach. Even if you'd have caught the football, not much yards would have been gained, and the clock would have continued to run.
Yeah, I'm going to echo the same exact sentiment right there. Really not a lot lost right there. Bernard was catching the ball right about the line of scrimmage. I mean, you would hope that he would be able to turn up, get a yard or two, but the clock would continue to run. Incomplete pass will stop it. Not a lot lost.
2nd and 10, Carencro going to stick in the empty formation. Twin receivers to each side. Plenty of time to throw it. He's going to throw the back shoulder again. It's caught. I don't know if it was in bounds. Davis came up with the catch, but he was out of bounds. It was good coverage by the Acadiana High defender using the boundary. That was J.L. Malbrew in on the coverage against Davis.
And kudos to Davis right there. I mean, a guy who we mentioned, hasn't seen his fair share of reps throughout the season for whatever reason, and, comes in right now. And I mean, that's a big-time play. He gets out of bounds, but, I mean, that is one heck of a catch by Davis.
Guernsey back in the gun by himself. 2 receivers to each side. Looking to throw the football against the pressure. He's going to throw it deep. Hangs up in the air a bit, and it's going to be intercepted. It's going to be picked off at the 10-yard line by Acadiana. That was Keon Ledette who picked it off. He was trying to hit KB on a skinny post. Football just stayed up too high in the air. Ledette was able to come up with the interception. And Carencro's in a huge hole, down by 2 scores with 8:24 left to play in the ballgame.
Yeah, and you don't want to get too hardcore either way when you were up early in the first half or down right now in the second half. But I got to tell you, realism says it's going to be really hard to climb out of this hold right now.
It's going to be a tough road to climb right here, man. It's with an offense with the style of Acadiana, they're going to keep you on your heels. DeBetta back under center. Hands the football off. Plenty of running room on that far side. He gets the corner. He's going to get across the 40-yard line. That was Cyrian Joseph. He didn't get much run so far tonight. They've been a steady dose early in the ball game from Seamaw and Kennerson. This time they go back to Cy Joseph, who gets them their first down at the 41-yard line of Acadiana, and the clock continues to tick. Under 8 minutes to play in the ball game.
Yeah, and on a play like that, I mean, you just have to feel some of the life continue to drain out of that Carencro defense right there. Just, that's a lot. It's just a lot of punches to the face, and how much can they take?
Labetta hands the football off on the crossbuck that time. Gain maybe a yard. They'll say they got back to the line of scrimmage. That was Dion Poole. They'll say they got him at the line. It'll be no gain on the play and bring up 2nd and 10 as we're under 7:20 to play in the game now.
And you're just not going to see anything that much different from those last two plays. You're going to see one go inside, one go outside, two come inside, one come outside. But Acadiana will just milk the clock right here and do everything they can to neutralize what could be a very dangerous and potent Carencro offense.
Back under center. Labetta hands the football off to Joseph. Joseph gets through the line of scrimmage and still running through tackles. Carencro will gang tackle him across the 45 down to the 46. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for Acadiana as the clock continues to tick as we're under 6:40 to play in the game now.
And it's just crazy to go back and look at the history of this matchup. And, for years when Acadiana had a really good program throughout the 80s under Bill Dotson, and Carencro was a nothing in football. I'm gonna hold that thought as Acadiana will come to the line, 3rd down.
Labetta runs the option towards this near sideline, continue to keep that pitch relationship. He'll just eat it as Will Laverne gets him in the backfield, back behind the 45 down to the 44. It'll bring up 4th and 7 for Acadiana with less than 6 minutes to play now in the ball game. Carencro continues to trail 29-14.
And then in the late 80s, Mike Ortego and Pat Key come to Carencro, and young guy named Mac Barus comes in at Carencro, and then with Mac Barus comes in a young man named Kevin Falk, and just a pipeline of athletes comes into Carencro for years, and just Carencro just asserted their dominance.
Punt by Acadiana is going to be a wobbly one off the foot. It's going to bounce at the 35 and check up at the 22, 23-yard line, and that's where Carencro is going to take over. Carencro did send some pressure there, just couldn't get home on the play. There is a shaken up Ram back at the 35.
So as we continue to flash back through those Barros years, and then going on, for I don't even know how many years, Carencro really held the edge and just had a stable of running backs, right? We'll go back to John Bernard. We'll talk Damian James. We'll talk Theo Babineau. We'll talk Trevin Griffin. I mean,
Camille Baptiste. I mean, you had a bunch of guys that just...
Yeah, it's just nonstop, right? Just guy after guy after
next
guy
man up.
after
It was
guy.
always the next... Every year you had a next guy up. It's been a while, though, since they had a dude.
You had big linemen. You had big linebackers. You had guys who filled holes. You had skill guys like Atiba Dozart and Keno Davis at the cornerback positions. And the talent level over the years just isn't the same as it was at that point. And Acadiana has reaped the benefit of that. They kind of essentially became the Carencro of the 2000s.
1st and 10 Carencro from their own 22-yard line. Gursey back in the gun all by his lonesome. Low snap, he goes down and gets it. He's going to throw it. It's going to be caught. Guy Davis with the catch. I thought that ball might have almost been picked off by Lede undercutting the route. But Davis with his big, strong hands able to catch the football. Be a 6-yard gain on the play and bring up 2nd and 4.
So when we go back to, how Acadiana has risen up from there, it's so interesting. There's so many dynamics that go into what happened and what has happened over the years.
Gursey back in the gun, steps up in the pocket. He's going to throw it underneath. It's going to be caught by Davis again. It's going to be shy of the line to gain for the first down as he only got it to the 31. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for the Bears as the clock's now under 5 minutes to play in the ball game.
So one of those things in the dynamics comes down to school administration. You know, Acadiana has been led by a school administration that has really led them into this age, and boy, it has been successful for them.
Guernsey's going to run the quarterback draw on 3rd and 1, and he's hunting for the first down. The initial spot looks like it'll be a Papa Bear first down, and we'll move the sticks as the clock will stop momentarily to reset the down marker. 4:36 left to play in the ball game. Carencro's going to have to play with a little more pace as they continue to play a little slower than you would think in this situation. Guernsey back in the gun, looking to throw the football deep. No, he's going to throw it underneath to Davis. Davis catches it and goes out of bounds at the 39.
So quick get Davis right there. Davis could have actually turned up, got a couple more yards, but I think he had so much on his mind. Get out, get out, get out.
Yeah, he's trying to save as much time as he possibly could. It's going to be a penalty, though. Roughing the passer is going to give Carencro the football into Acadiana territory at the 46. So that'll be a Papa Bear first down via the penalty as Carson Guernsey gives Davis some instructions and sends him back out wide. Trip receivers to the near side as Davis by himself on an island at the top of the screen. Guernsey surveys the field and sets the line of scrimmage. Looking to throw the football. He's going to throw it underneath. It's going to be caught by Kendrick Bernard. Kendrick Bernard spins out of a tackle. He's going to be finally brought down at the 36-yard line. That's enough yards for another Papa Bear first down as it'll stop the clock with 4:01 left to play in the game.
You know, the Bears continue to move the sticks down the field. The biggest thing is, 15-point differential right now, and we know this Carencro special teams unit can put 2 up in a PAT situation. Can they do it fast enough? Can they get one more stop?
Guernsey climbs the ladder. Now he's going to try to run. Trying to run out of the arm tackle, but they'll drag him down. They'll get it across the 35 to the 34, where the clock's going to continue to run as we're under 3 minutes and 30 seconds now in the ball game. Waiting for everybody to get back to the line of scrimmage. Guernsey in his lonesome formation. Steps up in the pocket, looking to throw it. He's going to throw it. Caught. Kendrick Bernard catches it, shakes the first tackler, makes another man miss, gets down to the 10-yard line, and that'll be a Papa Bear first down.
Runs into Brendan Cormier even down at the end. Cormier was coming like, hey, I got you, buddy, and just kind of smashed into one another, but not before Bernard is able to break a couple tackles on his own, put the Bears in a good spot.
2:55 left to play in the ball game. Timeout, Acadiana. We're going to stay right here with you through the timeout. Carencro would need 2 scores to get back into the ball game as they trail by 15. 29-14, Coach. You mentioned the 2-point conversion. What is your thoughts about that? If you score here, do you hunt the 2-point or do you kick and extend the game for as long as you can?
I think you have to kick it right here. And then, obviously the chart is going to say it all. I'm sure those guys down on the field have the chart on the back of their folders, the back of their page that they have with all of their calls for tonight. But one would tend to think that you would want to kick it here. And then, man, if you get in that position, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing in that moment.
Carencro has it 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line after the KB catch and run sets them up as they hunt for points right here. When you're going to go to the onside look, if you score the touchdown, what is the onside look that you like the best, that you feel they execute the best?
And that's the biggest thing. I would tend to think, I know the amount of work that this coaching staff puts in to film, into preparation. I would tend to think they have a pretty good idea of which one they've won more than anything. And then against this Acadiana team, which one is the right one against them.
Guernsey back in the gun. Empty formation. Trip receivers to the far side. Kyden Davis, the lone receiver, in near. Looking to throw the football out. He's going to catch it. It's going to be caught. Kendrick Bernard. Cue the horns. It's a big boy fencing touchdown as Carencro inches closer. It's now 29-20 with 2:48 left to play in the ballgame.
Amazing the difference that happens with the Carencro offense as the Acadiana defense kind of sat on their heels a little bit, like just able to move the ball up and down the field in a totally different manner. Like really, really crazy, right? You know, when Acadiana just pulls back a little bit, give Guernsey a little bit of time.
Carencro's going to run Matthew Latham back out on the field a little late. They're going to retreat to a normal Molosov Funeral Home PAT depth. Guernsey awaits the snap. Snap is down. The kick is up. And the Molosov Funeral Home PAT is good. Sneaks through that left upright as Carencro now trails 29-21 with 2:48 left to play in the game. Onside kick upcoming. You mentioned there has to be one that they like better than others. I don't know if it's the bunch formation lead up.
I don't know what
it's going to be.
We've seen about 30 of them this year, right?
There's been a lot of renditions of the onside kick throughout the season. When you're playing for all the marbles, though, which one do you like the best? It's going to be up to Gavin Peters. And really, I believe it's Kyle Sebo that handles that for the coaching staff. That's one thing that Latham's pretty darn good at, though, is the onside kick.
I mean, he has been stellar all year long. A couple times he hasn't done what the coaching staff wanted him to do.
I think he knows
seen
right now,
that,
though, right?
But I think right now it is a no-brainer left.
2:48 left to play in the ball game. Carencro still does have 2 timeouts. Trail by 8, 29-21. They would need the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Latham got everybody bunched up. He's kind of giving marching orders left to right now, thinking about what they're going to do. They lead up to the football. They kick it. They wait for it to go 10 yards, and there is a flag on the play. I believe it's going to be Carencro getting a little quick start right there before the football was kicked.
And I couldn't see who exactly it was on, but I was a little worried. Brendan Cormier was up a step closer than he normally is, a little bit outside of the bunch right there. But, I mean, man, if you're Carencro, you got to do it again, though.
Yeah. Maybe you do a different version of it. The football's going to be spotted at the 35, so it's going to have to get to the 45 before a Carencro Bear could touch it. They went with the bunch formation, lead up, dribbler. Let's see what they got for part 2. They're in that same bunch formation, and he's giving a bunch of orders. He's going to kick it, and it's going to be the same thing. Waiting for it to bounce. It takes a bounce, and Acadiana will fall on it. At the 43-yard line, the Wreaking Rams will take over. It's going to take a fumble, a miracle for Carencro to win this game now, trailing 29-21 with 2:43 left to play. Carencro has 2 timeouts. Acadiana has 2 timeouts. I don't think that'll be as important for the Rams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, time will tell over this last couple seconds.
2:43 left to play in the ball game, and look, we've seen crazy things happen before, but it will take something pretty significant at this point, especially with this Acadiana High offense. And they kind of had their way up front with Carencro in the second half, as Carencro was able to kind of stack them up in the first half. The Beta under center. 1 receiver to the far side, 2 backs behind him. He hands the football off. It's going to be Kinnison. He's going to be dropped, gain a yard on the play, and Carencro is going to use their first timeout with 2:39 left to play in the ball game. That'll just leave them with 1 timeout remaining. Acadiana's kind of been interesting so far on offense. They've ran more backs tonight than they did a week ago. Seymour, the big carrier from a week ago, had a couple big runs tonight as well. It's interesting, though, if they're going to continue to go with the outside run or the inside run, as they've had success with both. But the outside run kind of leaves you open for a potential turnover or for other crazy theatrics to happen. With the 1 timeout left, I know Coach Gavin Peters and company are hoping to get the stop right here, call the timeout, and set up a 3rd and long. If all works out, Carencro would get the football back. Wouldn't be much time left on the clock, but they would have an opportunity. They would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion as they trail 29-21. Both teams coming back out of the timeout. This game's kind of slowed down a little bit. As Acadiana played with a little pace earlier in the second half, that's kind of when they found their footing. 2nd and 9. The Beta brings the troops to the line. Gallion, the lone receiver, to the far side. 2 backs behind them. Hands the football off. It's going to be to Seymour. Seymour gets good push. Gets it almost all the way to the 35. They'll say he stopped at the 36. The far side stops him at the 37. And they got a timeout for Carencro. It'll be 2nd and 4 for Acadiana. 2:32 left to play in the ball game. That's Carencro's final timeout. They're not going to be able to stop the clock again. If they're able to stop them here, they would get the football back, and they would still need a miracle. Crazier things have happened. Got to love high school football. They're playing for the right to get to the second round. That second round matchup would be with St. Aug next Friday in New Orleans. Acadiana, of course, beat Carencro a week ago here, and they've won 8 out of the last 10. They're trying to push it to 9 out of 11. Before they went on this run of 8 out of 10, Carencro had won 3 in a row, but haven't been able to stifle the Rams over the last 10 matchups with just 2 wins, one of those coming in the playoffs at the Open Air Crow Dome. 3rd and a long 3. The Beta under center. 2 backs behind them. He's going to hand the football off to Seymour. Seymour falls forward to the 35, and it's going to bring up 4th and 2. Carencro can't stop the clock as it'll continue to run. There's 2:20 left to play in the ball game. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to punt this or go for it. I would think they're going to go for it, Coach.
I would think they would go for it right here. I mean, you're not going to lose all that much if you punt. It's kind of that in-between spot, right? Like, if you get it, it's ball game. If you don't get it, you do open the door for Carencro and what is a very potent offense led by Carson Gursey. And we've seen the emergence of Babineau, Bernard, and Davis at the receiver position. So
Acadiana's going to call a timeout with 1:47 left to play in the ball game as they continue to think over this decision. I think it's a no-brainer. I think you have to go for it and run the football. You've kind of had your way with the Carencro defensive line in the second half. Odds are you could probably pick up this 2 yards. It's a full 2, though, right? It's not like it's a 1.5.
It's a full 2 yards. And I got to tell you right here, I've got to have Duffy on 1 receiver, Babineau on 1 receiver, and all other of the 9 bodies
in the box.
I've got to have at somebody's feet right now. I mean, there's just – if they beat you through the air, against Duffy or Babineau,
there's no
so
way
be it. But there's no way they throw it. I mean, it would take some, some really some bravery, some bravado, let's call it, if they were to do that. But I mean, I think it'd be pretty stupid because if you're a hero or a zero on that, I mean, I got to load the box up and my linebackers got to be tight. I got to be sending them full speed.
Acadiana will go for it. They bring the troops to the line of scrimmage. The Beta hands the football off. There's a flag on the play. And it's going to be false start against Acadiana. They had handed the football off to Kennerson, and Carencro had stopped them. But before that, the play was blown dead. It'll be a false start for Acadiana. They'll back it up 5 yards, and now you have to punt it.
I tell you what's crazy is I think if Carencro gets the stop, they're in a much better position than they will be with the false start.
4th and 7. Football spotted at the 40-yard line of the Bears. 1:47 left to play in the game. Acadiana's offense is staying on the field.
Quick pass to Gallion right here is the lone split receiver out past the right hash mark.
Acadiana's going to burn their final timeout of the night to rethink it over. Any chance that they think better of it, maybe send out the punt unit, try to pin Carencro back?
I mean, if they're smart, that's what they do. I mean, I don't see any good situation here because if you lose on this, I mean, one, it puts you in a really bad place. And then if it turns around and Carencro scores, good luck tomorrow morning on Facebook.
I think those keyboard warriors are probably already going to be out in full force no matter the outcome.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, they have been strong all week. Huh? It has been amazing how grown men love to talk about the game that kids play on Friday nights, huh?
And I do want to thank the Acadiana administration, though, for letting us broadcast this game tonight on the streaming service for the first time on the road.
Yeah, they have been super hospitable to us in every way, shape, or form. We try not to stream at other places in the past, just not to infringe on other people's stadiums. And Acadiana has just been open arms for us to stream this one tonight, and it has been an absolute great one, no matter what the outcome is.
Acadiana is going to come out to punt the football. Babineau, he's going to be pretty shallow. They're going to get the punt off. It's going to be off his foot. It's going to bounce at the 15 and again at the 10, and it's going to be just at the 6, in between the 6 and the 7-yard line. So if Carencro wants to extend its season and make history, they have 1 minute and 37 seconds and 94 yards left to go to get into the end zone, Coach.
We've seen it before. We've seen it turn out pretty well. We've seen it not come to fruition. And the way that Acadiana played the last possession, they gave Carencro some space. They allowed them to complete the ball. What Gavin Peters has in the back pocket, it's going to be interesting.
Jersey back in the shotgun, empty formation, trip receivers to the near side. Davis by himself at the top of the screen. It's a low snap. He goes down and gets it, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield, just shy of the end zone on a big sack. It'll be a loss. They'll call him down into 2. It'll bring up 2nd and long for Carencro as Jersey's dropped on the sack.
Yeah, that's a loss of 5+ right there. I mean, that is the antithesis of what you wanted right there.
Jersey back in the gun. He's going to throw it and be in and out of the hands, slightly behind Kendrick Bernard, but he had a chance at catching it, didn't come up with the grab. It's going to bring up 3rd down for Carencro. They're going to have to get 15 yards to extend to get a fresh set of downs. There's 1 minute 5 left to play in the ball game.
For the great plays that Bernard made, boy, you needed him to make one right there.
It was a little behind, but it was still
right.
catchable. Jersey back in the gun, same formation. Low snap, he goes down and gets it. It's going to be caught by Bernard. Bernard's trying to get through a couple tacklers and does. Tries to bring it across the 15. They'll say he's tackled at the 15. It's going to bring up 4th and 3 as the clock's now under 50 seconds.
And that's those plays that we're talking about, those great plays that Bernard has made. You needed one right there. You really needed one before. Big one right here.
4th and 3. Jersey gets the snap, goes down and gets it, and he throws it wide. Incomplete. Babineau didn't have a chance to catch it, and that'll do it. Acadiana's going to take over on the turnover on downs. And with 37 seconds left in the ball game, looks like Acadiana's going to get out of this with a 29-21 victory as the crowd erupts at Bill Dotson Stadium.
Yeah, and once again, big kudos to this home crowd. This is what small town football should really look like and sound like right there. I mean, other than a couple people in the stands who really don't know how to handle winning, it is an absolute great environment for high school football. And got to credit the players of Acadiana. A couple Carencro guys dejected after that last play. Acadiana guys kind of picking them up, patting them on the back. That's what it's all about.
Colin DeBetta's going to take a knee. I'll have to do it one more time as the clock's now going to go under 30 seconds. That'll do it. They won't have to snap the football again. Acadiana's going to come out victorious tonight, 29-21 in a hard-fought game. It was a season this year for Carencro with a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Really tip your cap. This is the end of the career for a lot of seniors, including Chance Babineau, who might be the most productive player ever in Carencro football history. You got to really tip your hat for the career he's had, as well as the rest of these seniors, but it wasn't meant to be tonight. Acadiana wins from Bill Dotson Stadium 29-21. When we come back, we're going to wrap it all up and put a bow on the season in the Coca-Cola postgame show on your home for Carencro High football, Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Welcome back to the stadium, the Bill Dotson Stadium from Scott, Louisiana, where Carencro falls tonight 29-21 to end their season to Acadiana High. Coach, it was another battle. It was another classic game, a game of two halves. Carencro really dominated the stat sheet early in the ball game. They led at the break 14-9, and then after that, Acadiana really flexed their muscle and out-physicaled Carencro the rest of the way.
Yeah, did we expect much different? It's really not a big differential between a week ago and now. It just kind of happened in a different manner. Field position, man. Field position, I think, was one of the biggest keys in tonight's game. Carencro just unable to get one more stop, and Acadiana able to put Carencro in bad positions a couple times, and it goes back to the opening drive, and, Carencro received the ball. They needed to get it and go down and score, They did not, and then it became a battle of field position the entire night, with Acadiana coming out and getting the ball in the second half. And they were more opportunistic at the end of the day. They were a little bit better physically than this Carencro team was. I think Carencro had a great plan. Credit Acadiana. They had a couple good wrinkles that put Carencro in a bind a couple times. It was a good high school football game.
It was. It was a tremendous year. I want to thank a lot of folks for making this possible all season long. Our fine folks at the AOIT program of Carencro High School, Mr. Seth Dickerson and all his staff, especially Mr. Benji Desatel, the birthday boy tonight, coming up strong all season long. He brought you replays for the first time on the Carencro Bears Network, and we're going to be excited to continue to do that into the future. I also want to thank the sponsors that made this possible all season long. Hub City Ford, Prime Energy Solution, Ochsner Lafayette General Sports Medicine, Nolan's Lawnmower, Prejean's, Big Boy Fencing, Melançon's Funeral Home, Arsenal Machine Supply, Best Stop, Tire Boss, Chief Anderson, Pat's Printing, Sheriff Mark Garber, Carencro Automotive, Coca-Cola, and the Louisiana Cubs for powering us and bringing us to you each and every week. I'm sad the season ended, Coach. It has been a fun ride. I appreciate you joining me in the booth again this year. Wouldn't want to have it any other way. We send off these seniors with a salute. We'll miss each and every one of them. CBAB, especially, most decorated player or the most productive player ever in the history of Carencro High School. Unfortunately, you won't hear from us next week, but we'll be back next season and look forward to hearing you back with us. As always, go Bears.